Your event is starting.
Our event is live.
Live.
Oh, turn down the volume dial. Otherwise, you're gonna get feedback.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you will.
No, I won't.
Trust me.
Where?
Go back to the stream. Yeah, turn that down.
I paused it.
Once it starts playing, it'll loop. I've been through this problem.
Are we live?
I think
we're live.
Can people hear us?
Hey everybody, we first need you to confirm if everything is all right. Can you see us? Can you hear us? All that fun stuff. Is this a dream? No, it's pretty real.
It's happened a couple times.
But first, this is like the fifth time? Fourth time.
It's been a lot of time. We've done this a lot.
Third time, fourth time, something like that. And we are live. We have confirmation, I think. You remember her?
Yes.
That's Stalkerbot.
Hello.
From Too Many Games. There was a little phase in our Discord where she had changed her profile information to whatever she was doing, just said watching a Rerez video. I think I sent you a screen for that.
You did actually. I do remember that.
Megan, that would put you on pretty much sole admin duty. So good luck to you.
Yes, thank you.
Anyway, so hi everybody. Yes, I am currently in Canada. I am hanging out with, as you guys, I'm sure a lot of you know, Shane here, Rerez, and of course infamous Scott the Canadian, who is now mostly known for the fact that you won a Philip DeFranco Xbox. That's like your thing now.
Yeah, and I got a Philip DeFranco shirt on because when I got up this morning, it was it was the first thing I grabbed when I was super tired and I got up.
Right on.
It worked out.
So, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, I do Q&A live streams usually about once a month. Those typically are like 4 or 5 hours. I don't know if you've ever tuned in for one.
Man, I have.
Yeah, those are nuts. Yeah, and obviously we won't be doing that this time because I'm not going to put these guys through that. Canadians are not built for that kind of thing. Only American coffee junkies are designed for that shit. But we'll probably be here for like an hour and a half, something like that. And just a Q&A, you can talk to us about whatever. If you do things like Super Chat or PayPal or whatever, we'll just automatically do yours as a courtesy, but it's not a requirement. Just whatever you want. But in general, we're just going to answer questions. So Shane, would you like to pick the first question because you're our gracious host?
Boy, I don't know. That one says Canada. Hi, White Knight. Was that a question?
Hello.
I think that's a statement.
It is a statement.
More like an announcement.
It is an announcement. We're in Canada. I've been joking about how I met Scott the CanadaCon. That's what I've been doing this weekend.
Yeah.
Doing Scott.
That's
Yes, Adam has not been doing me, sorry.
Progress.
No, he turned me down.
Yeah.
But it's all right. But yeah, no, pick a real one. Go for it, man.
Let's see. Hey, Adam, I got some harder to find Switch games yesterday because of your recommendation. Once again, that's not a question.
It's not a question.
I'm really bad at these. I should just look.
You should look for question marks.
Question marks. Thoughts on using a projector instead of a TV for retro gaming?
Perfect. You're the guy.
Okay, I got one.
We also have some to show you guys in a little bit.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, this is I actually have a little mini pocket projector, and I did a video on Twitter about this. I took a bunch of elastic bands and I strapped a bunch of just a bunch of stuff together. So I had a portable battery, an NES Classic, and a mini pocket projector.
Oh yeah.
And I went to my high school that I haven't been to in years, and I just projected a game of Galaga up on the wall. And I just wanted to see what that was like. Projectors can work really well with classic video games. Modern ones, though, there's just too much at stake. Like the higher resolutions, you're not really getting.
Yeah,
them.
Don't mean to interrupt you, but we just got a super chat from Dozy Deebs. Donated £1. Didn't leave a comment. If you do, please go ahead and we'll answer your question. Sorry.
Thank you, Dozy.
Thank you, Dozy Deebs.
Thank you.
Now you brought this up at a really good point. Now,
Sorry,
Dozy Deebs says just keep up the good work, guys. Well, thank you very much. If you want a super chat, there's a dollar symbol below the chat. Any amount you want. That's 100% up to you. Thank you.
I'll be doing a video on this eventually, but this is a video game projector.
Put it up to the camera.
Yeah, so you guys can see it. This is actually a video game projector. This was sent in by one of the viewers of Rerez, and I'm going to shout him out when I make the video. But this is literally a video game console that has a projector. That's it. It doesn't go to TV or anything like that. So, yeah, I've now been playing a lot of game systems with projectors. It's got its misses, because I haven't really used a projector that has done a really good high-definition image. They're usually like 480, and then they're upscaling. Mm-hmm. It's weird. It doesn't look all that great all the time. So,
my buddy has a OLED TV, and the games look amazing on it. Like, incredible. He has a PC hooked up to it, and it's crazy awesome. I think that would be my next step.
We'll talk about another next step in a little bit, but let's do some more questions before we get to that. Adam, why are you live right now? I was already watching the Mario Mania charity stream now, and I have to choose. Sorry about that, but thank you for tuning in. Is it ever better to use older CRT TVs to play retro games versus HDMI TVs with upscalers? This is a debate of personal opinion. I personally enjoy the convenience of using an HDTV when going through something like the FrameMeister, but that's an expensive thing to do. I personally am not on board with the concept of using a CRT. It has its benefits, but the inconvenience outweighs that.
See, I'm with you on that, especially with the mods you can do now. Like, I have an HDMI modded NES, and it's incredible. But I do miss the aspect of using light gun games.
Yeah, light gun games is the biggest one I miss.
I miss that a lot. There's some good ones on Xbox as well.
Mm-hmm. You know, as long as the TV that you're using isn't upscaling the image and then adding some lag and delay.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's my biggest problem. Like, I was playing Super Mario Brothers on a 4K TV, and it was just like the NES one, and it was so slow to respond to my movements.
What were you playing it with?
I was just playing it directly hooked up to it.
An NES?
Yeah.
Composite?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the thing. You're being dependent on the TV's internal scaler as opposed to an external scaler like the FrameMeister.
Yeah.
FrameMeister will do it beautifully. Yeah. If you're relying on the internal FrameMeister, or the internal upscaler, don't do that.
Yeah.
We are not receiving data from your encoder. Now we are. We might have just cut out there for a second. I don't know what just happened. We just saw an error message and then it went away.
Well, it happens sometimes.
Just letting you know. Anyway, so I guess that's our stance on that. Jake Friedel has a buddy of mine. Runs Missouri GameCon. Him and a bunch of other guys. Good dudes. Nice. He says, can't beat a CRT. Unfortunately, every LCD has a small amount of lag. Thus, games don't work on them. Jake might know. This is open to interpretation. It's kind of based on your personal preference. CRTs, that's true that they have no limit. They have no lag of any kind, but at the same time, you are limited to the inconvenience of having a giant television and generally composite video.
I've got a Sony PVM in that other.
Yeah,
room.
that thing is
that's
awesome.
like that PVM I keep on me because it's true. Like if you really want to play classic games the way they were made, you're gonna want to get some kind of CRT. And the problem is, as time goes on, they're harder to get, but you can't beat a CRT with certain games. You just can't.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Scott, you want to pick one? And
sure,
Hi Scott doesn't count.
Yeah. Which Wii U games would you like to see ported to the Switch? That's a good question.
We can do a difference. We can do ones that we think will happen and ones we want.
Okay.
I think Smash Brothers seems inevitable. I think so. It's an easy thing for Nintendo to pull that rabbit out of that hat and just be like, yeah, it's a new Smash Bros. Game because most of you never played this because you never had a Wii U. I would like to see... I don't know. I'm going to think about that. I don't think Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker is ever going to get on there.
I would really want to see
that
on there.
I would too, but I don't think they're going to bother. I don't think that New Super Mario Bros. U will get on there. I would like to see that, though.
I have a sneaking suspicion we're going to see a Mario Maker of some sort, but like later on.
Yeah, Mario Maker seems inevitable.
It would be an advanced edition of the game.
Yeah.
Like it would be a better iteration of it, for sure. But that would be good.
I'd love Pikmin 3. Maybe like a Pikmin collection where
Pikmin
it's
collection
1, 2,
would be
and
good.
3 together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm probably in the small minority of people who would actually want Sonic Lost World brought over there.
Yeah, I could see that.
That'd be kind of cool. I don't think they'll do it.
I'm looking over at my Wii U games,
I'm
right?
thinking about it in my mind. Like,
yeah, that's where we're looking at is Wii U games.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's some of our answers right off the bat.
Hey, Mystic. Mystic gave me a shout out.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Rerez means respawn. So if you're in a video game and you're respawning, that's what rerez means. It's the same word. It's just like slang that we used in like the late 90s when you were respawning in a video game, you were rerezing.
Mystic Fan is asking me, when am I planning on playing Ultra Sun or Moon? Unfortunately, never. I'm not a
Pokemon guy?
No, I'm not a Pokemon guy.
Are you getting the Xbox One X? I am not getting one right away. I think I will do that eventually. Microsoft has a tendency to do big bundles pretty quickly. When they launch a console, like, I wouldn't even be surprised if later this month on like Black Friday you're gonna be able to get one for like $50 off. Maybe seriously, welcome to the States. That's how it is down there. Or even like by Christmas, I would be really surprised if I couldn't find one for like $50 to $100 off, or at least $500 still USD with like a whole bunch of games or something. Microsoft loves to do bundles.
Are we gonna see? Well, yeah, bundles for Xbox One S for sure.
Oh yeah,
but I don't think you're gonna see it for the.
I think they already announced bundles for the S.
Down south, you will.
Really? X?
Yeah, we're nuts. You want to show them?
Oh yeah.
But somebody doesn't have to wait.
So this is the
This
Xbox.
motherfucker already has one.
So this is the Xbox One X Scorpio edition. Microsoft sent this into us. I'll take a look, show you guys what it looks like. So we're doing a review on it. We're taking our time to make sure we capture everything we can.
Make sure to subscribe to his channel so that you can check it out.
But yeah, it is, man, I gotta tell you, all the reviews you've been hearing of people talking about it so far that have been talking about it being a really good system, if you like Xbox already, this is gonna, like, you're gonna love this. It's everything that Xbox One has done well, and it corrects the things it hasn't done well, and it is probably one of the best systems on the market right now.
Other than the name.
Yeah. Other than the name.
You can't ever fix that.
See, the name's confusing because even when we're doing the reviews of this thing, every time I'm talking, I'm always saying Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One X.
Xbox.
X, yeah, see, just like that.
Yeah,
because
it doesn't come out natively.
Yeah, and it causes issues. But, yeah. Rerez, do you prefer physical or digital games? I like physical. You can't see it right now. There's a whole bunch of physical games to the right of me. I like being able to collect games, but I'm getting to the point where I'm okay with digital games, primarily because of the Xbox. This has been like okay. I didn't like getting the Switch and then not being able to play a bunch of older games. I didn't like getting the PlayStation 4 and not being able to play a bunch of old games. And when they did the Xbox One the same way, I was so pissed off. Mm-hmm. But then when they introduced 360 backwards compatibility and now the original Xbox compatibility, backwards compatibility. You can have, like, really... Like, I had an old game just sitting on my collection for the original Xbox, put it on the Xbox One, and it looks even better than it ever did in the past.
It's incredible.
And the 360 game's running better than they did in the past, and it's like, this is what I wanted. I always wanted this. And I feel like Microsoft is really trying to make their older games basically last forever, and I love that. So if companies do that digitally, I'm okay with it being digital, but if you've got companies that are not taking care of their older games or like re-releasing them or like putting them in a format that's easy to get, then I prefer it to be physical. So with the Switch, for instance, I like the physical cards for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
You know, speaking of the Xbox backwards compatibility, there's a little PS, if you guys saw my video, one thing I was thinking would be a really good incentive for a lot of games. You remember how, like, when Fallout 4 came out on Xbox One, one of the incentives they gave you was, hey, if you buy the Xbox One version, you get Fallout 3 digitally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can introduce that same concept with OG Xbox games in addition to 360 games being thrown in for Xbox One versions of games.
Yep.
So, example, Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. You could include Grand Theft Auto 5 potentially, but even if you don't do that, you could throw in Grand Theft Auto Trilogy on OG Xbox as a bonus for buying the Xbox One
I would love
version.
to play Vice City.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
No,
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption's perfect because
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2 can come with Red Dead Redemption 1, 360, and Red Dead Revolver OG Xbox. You could do all of that in one
Wow,
thing.
I never even thought about that.
You could do all of them in one big bundle.
And you know it's great too if they manage. See, right now with the Xbox One X, they're talking about like taking 360 games and upscaling them to 4K and stuff like that. If they're capable of doing that with Red Dead Redemption, the original, that game's not on PC, so that means the best way to play it would be on the Xbox One X.
It already is. And
Yeah,
it'll be
it
even
already
better.
is. Yeah, it'll be even better. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and the thing is, it doesn't just upscale. It actually renders them in fucking 16 times their original resolution.
Which is
amazing.
amazing.
It's sick. So more questions. Game player 1119, will he get his question answered? I don't even know who that is.
His question was, what is the future of gaming? What do you guys think will happen after the PS4 and Xbox One?
That's tough.
Well,
we can all make predictions.
Well,
Feel
the
free.
Xbox One X, I guess, is the next step for now.
I think he means beyond that.
Beyond that?
You're now entering into... So this is kind of a cool time to be a gamer because I think the companies are starting to understand that their libraries are some of the most valuable assets they have. So I think you're not going to see a PlayStation 5. At least it's not going to be a brand new system like with all bells and whistles and a new processing thing. It's literally going to be a step upgrade from the PlayStation 4 Pro. If you see another Xbox One X upgrade, it's going to be a step upgrade. So
they're moving to the cell phone idea.
Yeah, right? And I think that's okay because I like seeing my games work from all the way back in the past to now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what Microsoft's been trying to go for. And I think Sony's attempting to do that, but they're kind of failing because they can't do PlayStation 3 backwards.
Well, it doesn't cost them anything to have the digital games.
But they also
on there.
won't do PS1 and 2 by choice.
Well,
they do digital games. They don't give you the
digital,
disc.
yeah,
That's my point.
And
that's not really backwards compatibility. That's just reselling you shit you already bought.
Yeah. And then with Nintendo, Nintendo's in a weird position because I want to say Sony and Microsoft kind of play it by the numbers. They're like, yeah, this is the next system, this is the next system, same kind of controller, same kind of idea. But with Nintendo, they change the game every single time. So, hey, here's the Wii. Hey, here's the Wii U. Hey, Switch. You know, it's like all crazy.
Nintendo's very hard to predict on that basis.
And then,
like, I made some bad miscalculations about what I thought was going to happen with the Switch.
And then,
I did too.
And now, like, they're in a point where it's like you can't take, like, we're talking about the Wii U and bringing some of those old games over. Well, it's really hard to do that because there's the double screen, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't work with every instance. It's not like you can just port it over. Heck, even with GameCube games, right? GameCube had analog triggers on the back.
Pressure sensitive,
yeah. And the Switch doesn't have that, so those games have to be changed in order to work on the Switch too. So it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff they have to do to make that work.
That's why Super Mario Sunshine, I don't think, has ever made a
Yeah.
good game.
I'm going to make my bold predictions because I don't necessarily agree with him on the cell phone model. I did for a bit, but I've kind of changed it. And it's not a knock against you. So here's what I'm thinking I think happens. I think Xbox One X, or at least possibly another upgrade to that, could potentially be Microsoft's last home-based piece of hardware. I think that they're really, really pushing into being some sort of Steam competitor.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because as we continue with that Xbox and Windows integration, I think they would love to just keep Xbox as a brand, but not necessarily keep making hardware. I kind of feel like they made this thing. We keep pointing it. In case you haven't seen it, we have an Xbox One X here. I think they made this thing just to make a chest bump statement. You know, because every generation have had the most capable console. This was weird for them to be in a not that position.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, there's a debate between 360 and PS3, but really how hard PS3 was to dig into, for the most part, you didn't see that benefit. But anyway, I still think that that's probably what they're going to do. And I used to think Sony was going to do the same thing. I was convinced that if we got PS5, it would be like a Roku digital streaming box.
See, I agree with you. I think, but see, that what I mean by like the progression of the hardware isn't so much like, oh, they're just going to make the systems better and better. I think that cell phone model eventually gets to the point where, yeah, we're using cloud storage, we're using this, we're using streaming, because it just makes sense. Once you've gotten to that point, why bother setting out like these huge consoles everywhere?
But my claim, my bold statement on this is I think that Xbox One X, with maybe one other iteration of a more capable version of this, and who knows how long, is where Microsoft bows out of hardware completely. And I used to think it would be the same for Sony. Having gone to Japan somehow twice this year, I no longer believe that about Sony. I always thought for the longest time that the problem with like streaming was the United States' infrastructure with internet. It's not us. It's Japan. It is Japan. The PC as a concept, I don't mean as a gaming device, the concept of the PC has never really taken off there. So internet infrastructure there is bad. And physical media is really everything over there. So I can't see Sony in their own home country being dependent on online services that don't exist.
And since Microsoft doesn't have a focus in Japan...
Yeah, Microsoft, it's a different entity because they don't have to give a shit because they've never been successful there. So, but Sony can't fail in their own home market. They just can't do it. That's why Vita is still successful there.
That's why you're seeing the Switch being so successful in Japan.
That too.
Because,
that's no joke, by the way. You can't find a Switch over there. And so that's really what I think is going to happen. I think Sony is going to make a PS5, and I'm hoping it's not what you're talking about, which is what I've been saying for a long time. I don't want it to be a PS4 on steroids called the PS5. To me, new consoles are fucking events. You know, that's a thing. Xbox One X is an upgrade. It's a beautiful upgrade, but it's an upgrade. It's not an event. An event was the Xbox One base model. It was the new generation of hardware. I don't want to see a stupid-ass marketing team call the PS4 Pro Ultimate the PS5.
I don't know. I gotta agree with Shane. I think that it's gonna keep going. I think the sales are there.
That's what I'm saying with Sony. I think Sony's going to do that.
Even with Xbox, they sell too many. It's just not something that's gonna go away and go away from sale. And they gotta answer also to shareholders and stuff. I know it's kind of a bad thing to talk about.
That's terrible with Microsoft. That's a terrible argument with them. They've never made money on that brand.
Well, they may have not. I don't know the money, but I can tell you that the amount of units that they sell and the amount of games that they ship. I think that
it's a jobs program, dude.
I think it's a huge risk for them to stop this.
Well, it's like, see, this is my love of iterations and new platforms and stuff was always at the cost of, oh, cool, when I get my Super Nintendo, all my NES games aren't going to move forward, right? And I hated that. And those companies are like, okay, they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 0, and they just keep going back. With the cell phone model, it's like, okay, here's the next one. All your old stuff works. And for a while there, Sony was doing that, and it was great.
PS2, right? Wasn't it with the PS2?
The PS3 60GB launch model is like the definitive.
But did the PS2 play PS1 games?
It did.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, so that was the first one to...
Yeah.
It was the first Sony console.
No matter what PlayStation 3 you got, even the newer, the latest ones, they still play PlayStation 1 games, just not PlayStation 2. And I really love that. I love the idea that, oh man, I don't have to go insane about like getting rid of my old hardware. But I think the problem that a lot of people had was, oh, well, you know... I don't care too much about my old games after I get my new system. It's like, cool, but I do.
I know, I do
and
too.
you don't represent everyone. We don't represent everyone, but we're voicing why we think about it. It's usually an optional feature that does not hurt you.
Yeah, right? It's just software. And that's what I like about the Xbox One X and the Xbox platform right now is, I mean, the moment that they start introducing all those classic original Xbox games and Xbox 360 games the way they have been, so that I can go back and play those old games like I never experienced them in the past. That's it. Like that's an ultimate system for me. It's a big deal.
Now all they have to do is work on the actual compatibility.
Yeah, right.
I will be astonished if you ever see more than 10% of the OG library show up on that thing.
I don't think you would see too many. I think there's enough there that makes sense.
Because 10% would be about 100 games. Super chat from Richard R. Thank you very much. If you have a comment, let us know.
Thanks, Richard.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He lives in California. He gave me a bunch of advice on where to shop in Tokyo.
He did ask a question.
Or
he made it.
Adam's passion game is Shenmue. What's your guys' passion game? I don't. You can show a passion franchise.
Yeah. So I met a very nice gentleman through Adam, who
you guys know him well,
Ronald, who's an excellent mod. He's not here right now.
He might be.
I like to collect Ghostbuster games, and I have quite a few of them. But Ronald was nice enough to round up some ones that are not around here, which is. This one, I believe, was released here. Ghostbusters
They're European
2.
exclusives.
This one, I believe, was released here, Ghostbusters 2. But I don't think...
The advanced one was
these up, so if you want to see them.
I don't think this one was real Ghostbusters. And the last... I don't know, some of them... I think there were some regional exclusives. But I can never find them here. This is...
Well, yeah, because they're not from here.
Is that Ghostbusters Extreme?
It's Extreme Ghostbusters Code Ecto 1.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a PAL only.
Which is awesome. I think I almost have all the Ghostbuster games. I think I'm just missing the one on Game Boy Color.
I even got you that one for... What the hell was it? Do you remember? It was like a cassette tape.
Oh, Spectrum.
Is that what it was? Oh, yeah. ZX Spectrum.
ZX Spectrum, yeah.
Which I say because I'm on their home soil.
Yeah, I have it for Atari. I have New Ghostbusters 2 for NES. I have a Master System. Tons of great games. But
do you have an actual like game passion other than franchise?
Favorite movie of all time?
No. Game.
Game out of them?
Like, no. What's your favorite game? Like the way Shenmue is mine.
My favorite game? I'd probably have to say something... the game I probably played the most as a kid and I have a soft spot for is Link to the Past. I beat that game like 80 times. But in the past streams, I've probably said different games. Like I'm all over the place.
Snatcher or Metal Gear Solid for me.
Really? I mean, you guys can't see it.
I actually have a painting done by a friend of mine. But you can't see it because it's in the back there. But yeah, it's a Snatcher painting. I'm a huge fan of Snatcher. I'm a huge fan of Metal Gear Solid. And I played lots of video games up until that point. There's a lot of games that are really important to me and ones that I care a lot about. But I think it was when I played Metal Gear Solid, that was the first time I was like, oh my god, you can have like a cinematic narrative that feels just like you're watching a movie or you're taking part in the movie. And that was the first time I really felt that. Previous games got close, but that one had the full voice acting. It had like a convincing script. Because before that, not every script was great, and there was a lot of really good 90s games on the PC that were kind of in that realm. But this one, it just felt like somebody sat there and was like, okay, we've got to work some narrative and structure for the American government and all that stuff, and I just love the way that whole thing played out.
Dreamcast guy said Extreme Ghostbusters. Since it's
Dreamcast guy is a legit dude.
He's
a fellow YouTuber.
Hey, Dreamcast guy. Yeah, I know.
I just finished my Dreamcast collection yesterday.
Oh, really? What was the last one?
NBA Hoops.
I smuggled it across the maple
curtain.
curtain.
I've never seen in person. In Canada, it's pretty hard to find Dreamcast games.
You just got a PLN. I think that's Polish Zloty, right? Super chat from IP Seam. Do you have a favorite console hardware mod? I think the ultimate in best modifications to some sort of console is an OG Xbox when you've really just tripped it out. You can upgrade the hard drive. You can put a 2 terabyte SSD in that thing. You can upgrade the IDE cables. You can double the RAM.
You can upgrade the CPU.
Actually, my buddy, Ronald, we were just talking about, he just figured out, I can't say too much about this, but he figured out how to upgrade the GPU.
Oh, wow.
Like, you basically, he figured out how to turn it into Xbox 1.5. Like, it's not a 360, but it's, like, a lot closer.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah,
he's been working on one for a while.
It's
insane, especially, and that's just the hardware stuff, because you can also upgrade the drive in it, the disk drive in it, so that it, I mean, this is kind of useless now, but it can read CDRs, but it also has, like, substantially better load times off of disks. And then you can upgrade change the dashboard. You can have it run emulators, all that kind of shit. You can do so much stuff to an OG Xbox. The only competitor, and this is usually weird for me because I never defend this console, the original Wii. The amount of stuff you can do to an original Wii is pretty insane.
Actually, to like modern days, if somebody were to tell me I want to play Snatcher, but I don't have a CRTV, I don't have a Sega CD, I don't have a copy of the game, get it on the Wii. If you can emulate Sega CD on the Wii, you can actually utilize the Wiimote to actually aim at things and shoot, just like you had an original light gun gun.
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and it really stands out. It's the best way to play Snatcher on a modern system.
I wonder if the OG Xbox light gun would work with that.
Probably.
But then again, you'd have to have a CRT. Then the Wii, you don't.
I have House of the Dead 2 and 3 on Wii, and it plays pretty awesome because of the Wiimote. It's like a gun.
Yeah, right. It works.
Thank you very much for the super chat. Again, if anybody wants to do that at any time, you just hit the chat thing, dollar symbol, whatever. You do that. We'll answer your question right away, but completely voluntary. You got a phone call? You busy, man?
Yeah.
Be professional. Damn you. We actually have a little unboxing here we could do at some point. Check this out, guys. This whole fucking suitcase is full of shit for Shane. It's heavy, too. You've held it.
It is really heavy. Like it's legitimately. It's about 1.5 Xbox Ones.
It's that thing is fucking heavy, by the way.
It really is.
The Xbox One X is really heavy.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance, pick one up. It's very heavy.
When he first handed me, I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like you just
it's like it is small, but it is packed. There's metal and like there's a city in there and like a
there's a tribe of people. It's all those Ks, man. There's 4 of them in there. Those things are fucking.
Yeah, they're
heavy.
making it work.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it actually stands for. 4 kilos.
Yeah. That'd be great.
And I'm an American. Yay.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So we'll get to the unboxing, if you want to call it that, in a little while. But for now, let's answer some more questions. Biggest guilty pleasure game. Ooh, that's a tough one. Because it has to be a game that you know sucks, but you enjoy it anyway.
Oh, is that what that is?
I think so.
I was gonna say Puyo Puyo Tetris. I'm hooked on that. I keep playing.
That's not a guilty pleasure because that's a good game.
So a bad game.
A bad game that you like for some reason that no one else ever really gets on board with.
Back to the Future on the NES is one of my all-time favorite games.
Yeah, that's up there for me too.
No, fuck that.
That's that music in the game that just constantly repeats.
Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah, I do enjoy the music in that.
No,
I don't mind it because
the true story. The moment I figured out how to put MP3s on like a mini disc player, like I found out like a way to do it. The first time I did that, I was walking home and I actually got that song as an MP3 because I just happened to have that MP3 sitting around. So I'm walking home like wearing like a black jacket. And I'm like listening to it, I was like, yeah, and I'm like, I'm faking dodging bees, and I probably look like an idiot doing that, right? But I just
there's no doubt.
It was and it's not a good video game song, but I also like the gameplay and I like the way it's not a good game, but I love playing it because of the challenge, and I've come to understand what you need from that. So then I actually enjoyed it a lot more because of that.
So I'd probably say that too.
That's not what I would say, but I can't think of anything great. So the first one that came to mind is probably not something I would retain if I were to like look at my stuff and be like, oh, that Mario is missing SNES.
That's not actually.
I hated that game so much as a
game?
kid. No, I don't think it's a good game, but it's surprisingly addictive once you actually get into it.
So my story with that game is they had a World of Nintendo store close to my house when we were growing up, and we just happened to be at the mall and we went in, and Mario was Missing was there, like as their brand new game, and I was like, whoa, Dad. New Mario game. My dad's like, all right, it's a Mario game. Okay, I'll buy it for you. I took it home. I've never been so disappointed in my life.
I have almost an identical story.
It was horrible.
My buddy and I, when I was a kid, we played Super Mario World. We fucking loved it like everyone else. Pretty much the same thing. New Mario game. Holy shit, let's get it. Worst thing we'd ever done. Worst thing ever.
Exact same thing happened to me. We rented it. And it was like, we spent all of our money on 2 things. It was a movie that ended up sucking, and then it was that game. We're like, well, at least the game won't suck. We ordered pizza, and we're like, let's get ready. The moment we turned it on, and then we were like, what's the capital of Spain? What the fuck? I was just like, what's going on? This isn't... They're trying to teach us things.
Yeah, it was bad.
I don't think I've turned it on in 20 years.
But I revisited it as an adult just to like give it a more of an adult shot. It actually, for what it is, it's competently produced.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
it's well made. It's just a huge disappointment because of what you thought it was.
I've never played Mario's Time Machine because of that game.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
it's fair.
Nah. Not to say that's a good game, but I'm just like, no.
So we'll move on. Will Mario Kart 9 be on Switch? I would assume so.
Oh, yeah.
Because Mario Kart 8 was just a holdover. It was just a...
Yeah.
In my opinion, like, the Switch has been interesting because it's basically been cannibalizing the Wii U to exist.
Yeah.
You know, its launch title was a game made for the Wii U and obviously did eventually make it there. And then the next big hit was they took the most successful game from the Wii U. And I'll bet you that Odyssey at some point was in development for Wii U. Like, probably early on.
Feel of it.
I would bet early on it was.
At least conceptually.
And like Pokken Tournament DX. And I'll bet you that Nintendo's plan is to basically throw out a lot of these great games that you saw on the Wii U, but you saw it on the Wii U. We saw it on the Wii U. We don't represent the majority of people who are buying Switches. Switches are probably going to be really popular, and most people never bought a fucking Wii U, so they don't even know those games ever existed.
Well, yeah, Mario Kart 8 deserved a re-release.
It did, but at the same time, most people didn't even know it existed in the first place.
You know what I realized about Mario Odyssey, and I never even thought about this, but now that you mentioned maybe it was being developed for the Wii U, when you push when you go to the pause menu, the pause menu is like a little folded piece of paper that opens up, and you can like click on things. I was like, yeah, that would be something you would have seen on the Wii U.
Gamepad. Yeah, perfect. Because then it would just have the ability to jump up and down to those portals or whatever, the little flag points.
Yeah.
You just tap it and do that instead.
Oh my god, it was a Wii U game.
It was. It had to be.
It was. Why else would they do that?
Yeah, it had to be a Wii U game. At one point, that had to be in development for Wii U. Question for Adam and Rerez. Do you script your videos? Do you think we could script this horse shit? Do you have any idea how much effort that would take? Like, you've seen my videos. You see papers in front of me? No. You can't script that. It's just word vomit.
So there's a cartoon right now on Rerez called Gabby Games, and most people would assume we did a script for that. I literally sat down and I just thought of like, okay, if I were like a 5-year-old girl that was into video games, what were the kind of things like? And I was trying to like simulate like what I would sound like with bronchitis when I was a kid, and the whole thing is just off the top of my head things that I think about when I'm thinking about games, and I'm not like critically analyzing what I'm saying. Usually with any review I do, anything like that, there's usually no script. I'll put points down for like, I need to hit this, I need to hit this, I need to hit this, but in general, no, I don't really use scripts.
This question wasn't for me, but I actually only have 4 YouTube videos, and 3 of them are from this week.
Are they scripted?
No. I went to the Guns N' Roses concert at ACC, and I took 3 videos and put it on. Because I knew some people wanted to see it, and then there's another video of me cliff jumping on my channel. And that's it.
Where is that video you've been promising us for years?
I tried to make it, but I do not know how to make it.
Just so you guys know, this is one of the few people who has a North American Commodore Amiga CD32.
Yeah.
And he's been
peer pressure will
He's been promising to do videos on it for like the entirety that I've known him.
Maybe I'll get Shane to produce it for me when he's not.
Yeah, he should be doing the video. Let him.
Yeah, I give him.
You give him a good video. Why are you so greedy with your videos you're never making?
Yeah,
jerk. Will OG Xbox backwards compatibility, or with OG Xbox backwards compatibility, you guys think those games skyrocket in price? They already have. The ones that are compatible have jumped up a lot. Yeah. But I think that's short term. I think that's just people getting excited about it, and then it's going to go right back down. For a little while, anyway. Somebody asked me what my accent is. Canadian, right? He's got Canadian accent.
Yeah.
I'm planning to do a video on my SG-1000 at some point. I don't know if you knew this. A guy sent me, a guy named Levi Roach, sent me a Sega SG-1000 in the box. Really? Japanese. The first console Sega ever made, released in Japan and New Zealand only. Wow. And he sent me one. But it was kind of weird because he said, oh, it doesn't work. Like, you'll get a picture but no sound. And so I just turned it on and it worked. It had sound and everything. He knew, like I told him everything. He was like, well, okay, cool, enjoy. I'm glid it worked. Wow. But he was a hell of a nice guy. It blew my mind because I thought he was kidding. And I opened it up and fucking there it was. So when they saw it, I did it live. Where is my SG-1000? It's at home. Here's a good question. Do you think Banjo-Kazooie will be on the N64 Classic? No. Microsoft has that license now. Well, yeah. Rare and Microsoft have that license. We actually did a video about the N64 Classic, and we did like a whole range. We did like a ton of research. We spent that was the video we did like a script. 3 days of just writing to figure out everything we wanted to say.
I'm so confident you're not going to see any Rare games because we saw Rare Replay.
I was gonna say exactly. You want that? Go get Rare Replay on Xbox One.
I would. I obviously there's gonna be a lot of disappointment with games missing from that, but one game I'm not sure a lot of people will mention is Diddy Kong Racing. I would love for that to be on there.
I really wanted it to be on there. The reason why I thought that would be on there because that's a Nintendo licensed property, so Nintendo technically owns the distribution rights to
but
that
it contains
one.
characters that Microsoft owns, including
right?
Conker.
And
So-
Banjo's in there too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That won't happen.
We didn't. So we just assumed that one could happen just because, like, it has a better chance than Banjo because Banjo that's straight up Rare, but Diddy is.
Banjo was also already done on Xbox
Replay,
Live
yeah.
Arcade.
Yeah.
and Rare
Yeah,
Replay.
you're not getting that. You might get Diddy Kong if Nintendo tries hard enough, but I kind of think they won't bother.
I would love to see WWF No Mercy, but that's obviously
That's
not gonna
THQ, which doesn't exist now. 2K owns that.
happen. Yeah.
2K owns all the assets to WWE and WWF games.
And you know what the worst part about an N64 Classic, and I hate this because it really couldn't be any worse than this. Not only are you not going to get Perfect Dark because that is an Xbox, that's a Microsoft game at this point. Not only are you not going to see Perfect Dark, but you're not going to see GoldenEye because in order for GoldenEye to actually happen, you got to get Microsoft to agree, you got to get Nintendo to agree, then you got to get Sony to agree because they own the 007 property.
You know who else you have to agree? EA.
Yeah.
Because they own the game rights. You have to have 4 companies all sign off on that release. Never gonna happen. Never.
But for anybody who hasn't checked it out, GoldenEye Source is incredible. I know.
You and I
actually
it.
didn't
Yeah,
Sony
yeah.
lose the rights to GoldenEye? Their Bond? I think they lost it to. I'm pretty sure that they just lost that.
Did they?
This year. I think they lost
Chance
it
is
to
moving
somebody.
up, everyone.
Nice.
Yeah, but a different film studio owns that.
Anybody that
I don't
wants to
remember who,
play GoldenEye multiplayer, go on Steam and download GoldenEye Source because it is incredible.
It is.
It's
worth
very
playing.
awesome.
Yeah. And you and I played it together, right?
Yeah, it was so good.
We did a live stream of it on my other channel.
It is so good, I guess.
Yeah, you came into that stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live streamed it once, and then he came in and killed everyone. And one of the guys on my team was like drunk. He's like, "Who the fuck is this Scott the Canadian killing all of us?"
Oh,
And
yeah,
I'm like, he's one of our friends. Who? Do I know somebody named Scott?
Oh yeah, I came on the stream and I just killed everybody. I had been playing it, like it just came out. I'd been playing it for like a week straight.
Legit,
and I was
he
just like,
legit.
yeah.
Donkey Kong is owned by Nintendo. Yeah.
Yes, but Donkey Kong 64 was made by Rare. So do they have the capacity to do that? All right, forgive me. Was the Donkey Kong Country games on the SNES Classic?
Yes.
Okay, then
that's why.
Donkey Kong 64 has a legit shot.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
because they own the distribution rights to it. Rare was just the developer.
Right on.
Yeah, they paid them to develop it.
Yeah.
It says, hello from Russia. Hello from the U.S. and Canada.
Yes.
We're in Canada currently, but I'm an American. If you see anything you're interested in.
Well, know what I just thought of?
Paramount. Was they the ones who got Bond? Somebody got Bond. That's what I think he's referring to.
It's probably correct.
MGM is Bond.
They were, but MGM is, I think, an entity of Disney. So I think they lost it to Sony at some point.
On this, do you have a Super Nintendo Classic?
Yes.
When you start Donkey Kong Country, does it say Rare?
Yeah.
It does, right? Okay.
Because it was a contract for
yeah,
hire
it was a
deal.
contract, yeah.
Are you guys excited about the new Atari console?
I can't. No.
It's not a fucking console. It's not real.
Somebody sent me a message and they were really upset with me about because I said this is a garbage system. I can't believe they would do this. They're basically trying to scam people. And then someone's like, "How dare you say you haven't even seen it yet?" Do I need to see someone that just says, "Yeah, we're going to release a bunch of Atari games on a box, and by the way, the box is going to be the most powerful system ever. It's going to run all the games ever." They haven't even shown you a controller.
It's a fucking Linux-based box that has an
That's all it
Indiegogo
is.
campaign, right?
It's like
or GoFundMe.
And then they've got it's some company bought the Atari logo. It's like, don't you love Atari, Shin? I love the Atari when I was a kid. That Atari no longer exists.
That
anymore.
company doesn't exist.
Yeah,
it's a name.
Well, there's already 5 players. There's Sony, there's Microsoft, there's Nintendo, and what people often don't think about, there's Apple and Android, because a lot of people spend money on cell phone
That doesn't even
games.
include PCs.
And when you have that many in, it's too many. Adding Atari is just, it's going to be... I'm not going to say it's going to crash.
Dude,
but
they
it's
are
just
going for
too many.
crowdfunding for a Linux-based box to play 2,600 games. Why would that be a direct competitor to anybody?
Don't they already have the Atari Flashback?
You know,
Like
but
that's a
7? Like
this-
7?
This is what I don't like. So I helped out. I helped co-create the All controller, and we went to Kickstarter for that.
Slut.
But before we went there, thanks for that.
No problem.
Before we went to Kickstarter, we made a controller. We actually went to a factory. We had pieces made so that we could actually go, look, here's a real controller. Here's a real product. Here's something that actually works, so that we could actually show you, here's something that at the end of the day is something that's real. When the Atari guys went, yeah, we're going to go on Kickstarter. You can't just throw a 3D model and a render on. You actually have to make something. You can't just say, I can make this. You have to prove you can make that. And that's the best Kickstarters can do that first, you know?
I guarantee you with the guy who's in charge of that, what he thinks is, Nintendo NES Classic, that did gangbusters.
Right.
I got Atari's name. I could make an Atari box. Everybody will love it. It'll be just as big. Because he doesn't know shit about video games or the industry or the fact that they made 1 million of those things. They're called Atari Flashback. They exist.
And Flashback.
It's never going to be as successful.
7 or something.
It's not a real thing.
And I read an interview with the guy who was actually making the Atari box. He said, so why do you expect people to buy this? And he's like, well, because Atari gives people good feelings, or he said something like that. And I was like, are you serious? That's not what people, like, no one's going to go, I'm going to buy this Atari box that's going to make me feel good. Like, nobody does that.
That's his argument, that he thinks that's why the NES
It's
Classic
Atari games. Like, I know a lot of people that bought the NES Classic and the Super Nintendo Classic that don't really buy video games. They played it for half an hour, and they were done with it.
Yeah.
They got the nostalgia factor very quickly. Atari will be even shorter than that.
Yeah, you're lucky if you get 5 minutes of entertainment out of it.
The games aren't good.
There's some, but we know them already.
I know
Space Invaders is fun, but
those games don't appeal to the people that they used to appeal to.
If they were the arcade games, I feel those arcade games have survived a lot longer, and I think they're still enjoyable to be played. But some of the original Atari games are cool and all, but I think that okay, he's just gonna sell the box, and then you're like, oh, I want to play Adventure for Atari. Hey, you need the manual, right? You need stuff to play some of those games. E.T. on the Atari 2600 is a game you can play if you've read the manual. If you don't read the manual, the entire thing doesn't make sense. And I think that he doesn't know that, because I don't feel like that guy's an actual gamer.
See, I would love to see an arcade classics console where you actually got the arcade version of Simpsons, Turtles.
Some of those are impossible.
I know, obviously.
Konami doesn't.
Well, actually,
they made both of those.
The actual Space Invaders from the arcade, like you said, not the Atari version. Yeah.
Yeah, Retrobit's making a system called Retrocade, I think. So it's an actual console that just has all these classic Atari games.
Because
arcade games on it.
MAME is awesome, but it'd be cool to see like something you can hook up to your TV easily, more conveniently, I should say.
Speaking of the NES Classic, can we show that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you grab those? Have him show them.
So
we got some little surprises here.
So I went out and bought an NES Classic, but the reason why I bought an NES Classic was because a company reached out to me and sent me this. This is the knockoff NES Classic, and
can we show the box?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm still working on a video.
Because everybody's seen that box on a lot of people have seen it on eBay and Amazon.
There are 600 games on this thing, so I'm going through that, and I'm definitely trying my best to do everything.
Fun, man. I'm really jealous.
Yeah, it is hard.
Yeah, we thought you guys would like to see something weird. So we'll take a couple more questions, and then we'll do the unboxing, I think.
Nah, that would be fun.
It's going to be a diabetes
I'm like really excited because I know there's a lot of sugar in there.
Dude.
Oh, here's a good question.
Scott, have you held this thing? Try picking that up. That's just shit for Shane.
No, I'm going to pull a muscle. Here's a good question. What the fuck is taking so long with the Switch Virtual Console?
I don't believe you're going to see a Switch Virtual Console. I think that... I think Nintendo's making too much money from the NES Classics and the SNES Classics that to make a virtual console would devalue the essential property of making more future systems like the Nintendo 64 Classic, or a foreseeable future where we have a GameCube Classic, which would be pretty crazy if that happened.
You're talking years down the road. I think they're going to buy themselves a year by doing a Game Boy Classic.
Yeah, no, exactly. Okay, Game Boy Classic, Nintendo 64 Classic, Game Boy Advance Classic. You know, you're going to see stuff like this.
It makes you wonder if they're going to skip Game Boy Color. They're not going to do Virtual Boy. That one I promise you.
A Game Boy Classic will have Game Boy Color games in it. It would have to.
I think so.
You're just jumping.
I don't think they would release two separate ones: Game Boy Classic and a Game Boy Color Classic.
It's because they have to put a color screen in it. They're not putting a monochrome display.
He's got a valid point.
There you go.
I feel like they're going to go through that. I think that's going to be a thing that's going to happen. Honestly, though, I want them to make a classic thing, but the Nintendo Switch has been out for quite some time now. We're not seeing Netflix. We're not seeing a browser. We're not seeing any of those features. I think their focus is mostly just on Switch games, and I really don't think they care.
It's selling, so
yeah.
It's
hard to make that argument when at the same time you go out and buy it anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it would be nice, I guess, to have Netflix on it, because the idea that it would play portably or in a dock, sure, but you have a million other things you can do that on. Your phone can do it portably. If you have the Xbox One X or any other device like that, you can play it at home too. Like, sure, it would be nice, but I agree with you. I think it would be better if they just focus on game content.
I feel like I made a video talking about 2018 for the Switch and how I feel it might be a rough year for them because we're not seeing a lot of major releases in 2018, at least not significant ones. You know, and that's
because I think that's when they're really going to cannibalize the Wii U library.
And I think that's when they're going to be like, okay, let's release all these older games that we have. And you know what? That's cool. There's a lot of really classic Wii U games and older NES games and Super Nintendo games and even Nintendo 64 games that can come out in 2018. But I think 2018 is going to be their slow year because they rushed everything out for the Switch right away. Mm-hmm. I feel the system was rushed to begin with. Not like the quality.
It was a year early. It was a year early.
When's Metroid coming?
They don't have a developer on it yet.
Yeah, that was just a graphic made for E3. That was not.
Just so you know, when they showed off Metroid, well, I actually asked. I think it was with you when I asked a friend. It was like a graphics designer at Too Many Games, and we asked him how long would it have taken you to. If somebody was like, "Okay, dude, you got to make a graphic now," he said it would have taken him about 3 hours to do the graphic that they did for that premiere on the Nintendo Direct. And when Nintendo announced the new Metroid game, they had no developer listed, and they have no screenshots, no story, no nothing. So going from nothing to a full game, that's not going to happen in a year. You're going to probably see that game come out sometime in 2019, 2020, you know?
Yeah.
There has to be a Wii Virtual Console. Not for much longer. That shit's getting shut down in, what, March?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, not for much longer. If you have any of those unclaimed points, use them. But actually, this is kind of interesting because you mentioned before how you like how Xbox One is kind of integrating its entirety of its backlog. You got to give them a plus for that because while Sony's kind of doing that with allowing you to buy stuff, I'd say Nintendo's even worse about it. In both cases, they have amazing catalogs of games from their past. Mm-hmm. Microsoft's allowing you, like, do you remember the Xbox Classics program on the 360? Download, you could buy digital versions of like Halo and other OG Xbox games. The ones that they supported back then that are actually Xbox One compatible, people bought them 10 years ago. It shows up in the library.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, isn't that fucked up? But at the same time, you bought something digitally on PS3. You bought like Metal Gear Solid on PS3. That ain't coming to your PS4.
Yeah.
You bought something on the Wii Virtual Console. That's not showing up on the Wii U. That's not showing up on the Switch. Even if it's actually for sale on all three, they don't connect them. I gotta give them props. That was smart of them. And I'm not a guy who likes digital content, but if you're going to do digital content, I respect that way because you're respecting customers' like right to buy something.
On 360, I bought Stubbs the Zombie on Xbox Original for backwards compatibility, and the moment Stubbs the Zombie comes on the Xbox,
is it the same account?
Yeah, same
account. Or then it'll pop up in your
inventory. I'll be so damn happy because like that game is fun, it's enjoyable, beautiful soundtrack, like one of the best soundtracks of the Xbox era, and like that's the stuff I really like, and I have bought so many digital and Nintendo games, and I'm now at a point on the Switch where I was so disgruntled because I was like, I've spent years with you guys buying games, and don't give me the excuse that Nintendo doesn't know digital downloads. They invented it with the Satellaview. You know what I mean? Like they were the ones that made it. And now we're in an age where they don't even know to keep things moving forward. How come the NES games and the SNES games that I bought on the Wii U are not on my Switch? Are not on my 3DS?
Exactly my point.
But look at Microsoft. Xbox Live is 15 years old in what, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Launched in 2002, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's just been a constant evolution. It seems every time Nintendo wants to do something online, they change their mind or they different network.
It's because of Japan, dude. That's what I'm telling you. Internet infrastructure over there, it's not perceived as important. It's a very, and they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about the West. They really don't. Like, it's all about Japan first, and then you guys get the scraps of anything else we do. We appreciate your money. We'll listen to you in 1985, America, but after that, we're done with you.
But the PSN has done pretty well.
Yeah, Japan's a little different. Sony's a little different because Sony of America tends to run the shots on PlayStation. Oh, okay. Sony of America designed the PS4.
Yeah, that was the guy that made
Mark
Marvel
Cerny.
Madness. Yeah,
Mark Cerny developed PS4. Like, it's a different entity. But Nintendo of Japan is incredibly myopic, and that is never going to change while they're in business. I found out recently I can't explain this completely because I don't totally understand it, but they do a lot of things to they sell shares of Nintendo to drive down prices, and then they rebuy bigger amounts so that the company is always in family control. There's like 51% of the company is persistently in like the ownership of one family, so that they always have control. And if they want to do something weird like that, you can't no like shareholder is gonna be able to stop them. There was a comment about why Cuphead is not on PS4. Microsoft helped make that game. So the unsung story, the unsung hero of Cuphead is a guy named Chris Charla. He's like the number 2 over at Xbox. He was the guy who was walking on some indie floor somewhere, and he found it. It was actually, that game was made by 2 Canadian guys, not these 2. Not all Canadians are the same. But yeah, it was made by 2 Canadian guys who did that entire thing. That game was in development for like 4 years, something like that. Because the entire game is hand-drawn. But because Chris Charlo was the guy who's like, look, Microsoft would love to be involved in this and help you publish this and all this stuff, that's why it's staying with them. So you probably will never see Cuphead leave Xbox brand, or in this case Windows 10 brand, which is, so it'll probably never show up on Steam.
I met to and spoke to the people that made Cuphead like 2 years. I every time I go to a convention, they're there. I get to talk to them a little bit.
There's not that many Canadians. So
it was hilarious. Back when I first played Cuphead, I think it was about 2 years ago when I first played Cuphead. I saw it, and I was speaking to the people that were making it, and they were telling me all their influences, and they were naming all these, like, every game I knew. So I was like, yeah, Mega Man, I get it, right? And I played a level, and they said, you're the first person to beat this level. And I was like, it wasn't that hard, was it? Then I watched other journalists on the floor try it out. Yeah, it kind of put them for a spin. And I was a little nervous about Cuphead on that front, but I've been so happy to see it be so successful. But boy, I really wish that was on more platforms, because I think so many people would just enjoy playing it. I really do.
I think it's going to stay where it is for now. Somebody's saying Cuphead is on Steam?
It is
on
I
was
Steam.
Gonna say,
oh, okay, my bad.
It's on Steam.
I was surprised by that.
It's not on PlayStation 4 or Switch, and I really feel like it should have too, because it would have been great on those other platforms.
I'm sure it would be great, but I mean, the amount of publishing Microsoft did for them, unlikely it'll change. It could in the future when some sort of licensing deal ends, but I wouldn't expect that change anytime soon.
Somebody asked, is 360 games on Xbox One X?
Yeah, of
Shane,
course.
that
Yes.
would be...
That's your department.
Yeah, that's...
Short
Xbox-
answer is yes, but...
Xbox 360 games are on Xbox One X, and not only that, but Halo 3 and Fallout 3 on Xbox One X run better than they do on the original Xbox One, and run even better than they do on the original Xbox 360. I mean to say that Fallout 3 on Xbox One X looks like I'm running it at top settings on my PC with an enhanced resolution. It's insane. It's the best you're ever going to see that 360 game running on a home console. So good to the point that I think I think developers can avoid having to remaster games by just giving it this Xbox X polish thing, because it just makes the games look better. You're not getting enhanced frame rates, but you're getting more stable frame rates where it's available.
So that question is interesting to me, and maybe you've noticed this, and it's going to sound like I'm maybe insulting the person who asked it, but I'm really not. I have noticed a substantial amount of people who don't seem to realize that the Xbox One, Xbox One S, and Xbox One X are essentially the same machine, just with slight differences.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's like a generational thing. Because to me, I would never have been confused if the Sega Genesis Model 1 and Model 2 were actually the same console. They are. They just look different. Now, granted, I grant you the Xbox One X is a bit of a freak. It's a 4K capable version. But it seems like a lot of people think they're like legitimately next generations of hardware. And I'm wondering where that's coming from. Is it just Microsoft doing a horrible job of explaining this?
The marketing has been getting a little bit weird, and the naming is getting a bit weird. I really felt the moment that Microsoft called the Xbox 360 the 360, it caused a huge number problem, because you can't make a sequel to the 360. You can't just call it the 720, 1080. You know, that's difficult.
Although a lot of people joke that the Xbox One should have been called the 720 in the early days, because every game ran at 720p.
That's true.
But still.
But honestly, it's a mistake. It's an issue with numbering, and it's the same problem you had with the Wii U. You had the Wii, then you had the Wii U, and it's like that doesn't tell the consumer that there's a sequel. Like all of us, if you're watching this stream, you're a hardcore gamer. You know what it's about. You know the differences between these systems. You know the differences between the names. But the majority of people out there who are not like us, I mean, geez, I think all of us own a stupidly crazy amount of retro old video games for no other reason the fact that we need to own them. I think that supersedes a lot of problems that people would have when it comes to just thinking about those systems. Then Adam, you're right, man. I honestly think there's people out there that don't realize the differences between the systems, or in many cases just think it's the same thing again and again.
Yep.
It was funny because my mom could tell me what the PlayStation 4 was. She knew what the current version of the PlayStation 4 was. Couldn't do that with Xbox. Couldn't do that with Nintendo.
Yep.
I've never liked the naming convention of either of those platforms, but I will give you that Sony was at least smart to go numerically competent. I miss the old days of Sega, in particular, giving creative names to their consoles. It was the Sega whatever. You know, now you don't call it the Microsoft Xbox. You just call it the Xbox One. We dropped the name of the company completely with the case of PlayStation and the case of Xbox stuff. But with, you know, with Nintendo, you still refer to it generally by the console name. Even though their naming conventions have always included their name for the most part in the name. Until Switch, I thought the only good console they had, or the console they had with a good name, was GameCube. When you think about it, the first console is literally called the Nintendo.
Yeah.
Second one's called the Super Nintendo. Nintendo 64. Then
I like those names.
Wii, I don't like because it just sounded like a child's word. And then Wii U, as much as I love that console, it always just reminded me of the movie Kung Pao. You ever watch Kung Pao?
Yeah.
Wee-oo! That's all I could think of when I'm watching that, or whatever, heard that title. But yeah, that's how I felt.
It really is. Like every time every time I'm talking about the Xbox One X, it's really confusing because people that are just like audibly not paying attention might hear S. They might like, well, what's that? Like, and it really does get confusing. But it's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm. Let's do our unboxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the deal, guys. Shane, would you describe yourself as a little bit of a junkie for a certain type of cookie?
I do not drink alcohol. I do not partake in any illegal substance. But when it comes to Oreos and candy, I am a fiend. I love snack foods and stuff like that. That's my...
So here's the deal. I travel a little bit for different reasons, as you guys might have noticed. And I don't get to see this guy very often. Now, because he's in Canada, he's essentially limited to regular Oreos and, like, the golden ones.
Yeah.
Right? Now,
cinnamon. Which is
yeah.
amazing.
Cinnamon.
We have cinnamon roll Oreos in Canada, and they taste...
we have them too.
Okay. They taste exactly like Dunkaroos. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
And they're so good.
But in the States, we get new ones every month. Do you know that? If you didn't, like, and they come up with zany, fucked up flavors, and then they get rid of them, like, at the end of the month.
And we don't get those here at all.
Yeah, sometimes they just do a repeat, and other times they do stupid ones that I hate. Like, the Halloween one is dumb because it's just a regular Oreo with orange frosting. It's not any different.
Yeah, anybody that doesn't live in the States, if you ever go to the States, go to a grocery store.
Go to Walmart and just go nuts.
Just go nuts, because they have awesome stuff. I mean, they have really bad stuff, too.
Dude,
like
last time I was there,
quality of food in my country is not the best.
They had Jolly Rancher Pop-Tarts, and I looked at it, and I was just like, what the hell?
Chef Boyardee makes canned mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we do. We put everything in a can. Everything. Wow. But anyway, so I got a bunch from home. But I was also in Europe last summer, or this summer, whatever. And so I picked up some special ones from there, because they do ones that we don't get. And then I was just, as a lot of you guys know, I was just in Japan. They're celebrating the 30th anniversary of Oreo over there. It actually says it on certain items. So I got him some Japanese Oreos. So he's getting Oreos from 3 different countries.
I'm actually pretty excited.
All right, so
I think I'm more excited than the Xbox One.
Yeah, fuck the Xbox One. Let's talk about candy. I also got him various other little candies. Like, this whole thing is just bullshit for Shane.
You're going to have to eat them in order of expiry date.
He'll be all right. They last for a while.
Wolfsight asked Shane, will you be at the Cambridge Video Game Swap meet next weekend? I had no idea that was happening, but yes, I will definitely try to be there.
Next CGCC Swaps next Sunday, yeah.
Is it? I didn't know. See, nobody tells me. Yes, I will go.
All right.
I don't think I'll be able to make it. I'm trying to make it.
See what happens. All right, I won't.
We'll just start grabbing items here.
Shane, you can't look.
This is the first one we're gonna grab.
All right.
You just give a mini review on things.
All right, so this is Oreo apple pie.
You can show them. This video, I swear to God, not sponsored by Oreo.
So
I'd take their money. Don't get me wrong, but that's if only they offered.
So this is literally an apple pie Oreo. Oh wow! So graham flavored cookie. I'm actually pretty excited.
It's better when you dunk it in something warm, like tea or coffee or something.
All right, cool.
This one just came out. I got this the day before I came up here because it barely made it.
I've had Mexican Coke and it's really cool. Dude, what? Hot cocoa.
This is brand new. They're really fucking good. I'd probably put that in my like top 3 weird Oreos. Like that is legitimately good.
Never heard of this.
Yeah, it's brand new. Just came out on the 1st.
Hot cocoa Oreo.
It's so fucking good, dude. Like, the cream part has a weird consistency. It actually has the consistency more of like a marshmallow than cream. Jeez. It's half chocolate, half like white stuff. It's good. It's fucking good.
All right, cool.
So you probably know about this one.
Yes, okay, I've heard about this. So this is the limited edition mystery Oreo, and
Already
we don't know what the
discontinued.
flavor is.
All right, I'll tell you what it is. I swear, if you want to try one on the stream, that's up to you. But I'm telling you what that is.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna wait, but don't tell me what it is. Maybe
you cover your ears because I gotta tell them. I swear to God,
I don't even want to hear it because I want to try it.
I'll just whisper it into the microphone then. So if you don't want to hear this, turn off your audio for a second. In 3, 2, 1.
Talk lightly.
Fruity Pebbles. Okay. You're good.
Did you hear it? I didn't hear it.
I said it. I said it once. Now, please don't read the comments for a little bit because I'm guessing somebody's gonna put it up there.
Okay.
But yeah. Enjoy.
Are we gonna try it?
That's up to Shane. They're his property now.
Yeah. Later on, yeah. Because we're gonna go out to eat and I don't want to spoil it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Those
Cookie
are good.
butter Oreo. Okay. So there's these like cookie butter things that you can get. This is like amazing. This is just a cookie sandwich with cookie mix in the middle.
It's really good. It's really good.
Oh man. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even know.
And the one I'm about to hand you might be my favorite one they've ever produced, and I would never have expected it.
Damn.
Peanut butter. This one is hard to find. I only found this in Wisconsin.
Peanut butter and jam Oreos.
Jelly, sir.
Peanut butter and
American.
Jelly? Okay, peanut butter and jelly.
Wow.
I try to respect your culture, but you have to be correct.
That is so cool.
All right, now let's get away from Oreos for a little bit.
Adam bought way too many candies for me. This is
what I do. I buy him junk food. This is why you guys need to super chat and donate, because I can't afford food because I buy it for this motherfucker. Anyway, so let's get some random items that is not. Okay, this isn't even food related.
Okay.
All right, so I was in Tokyo, and I went down to Akihabara, and I just got randomly handed this thing. It's just a little random piece of Japan for you.
Oh, is this a Sega?
It's a little UFO catcher Sega slip thing. You can show them if you want.
That's like really cool.
It's just some Japanese piece of paper is really all that is. It's from, like, I was just walking down the street and Sega has, like, big buildings everywhere and they were just handing these things out. I don't even really know what it is, but I was like, hey, whatever.
It's an advertisement for the UFO catcher game.
Pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never actually seen one of these in person. That's
Now, one of Shane's other soft spots is KitKats.
Yeah.
He likes KitKats. Now, American KitKats are easily the worst. They're bad by comparison of the others. You can explain this better.
Yeah, KitKats in the U.S. are made by a company called Hershey's. We have Hershey's stuff here too.
Hershey's is fucking gross. You guys have heard me bitch about that a lot.
But the rest of the world uses Nestle. Now, I like American KitKats as well. I like Hershey chocolate. But Nestle chocolate works better with the KitKat design.
Ronald.
Yeah.
Tech therapy? Ronald, show Ronald the games. That's him.
Ronald, thank you. I finally got the games. Thank you very much, man. I owe you one.
Woo! Well, you'll see him.
Green tea mocha KitKats are amazing.
I'll hopefully be meeting.
We'll talk about
Ronald
that at some point. But
eventually, soon.
yes. So let's. All right. So you got that. This is old hat. He's had these a bunch of times. That's nothing.
Oh yeah, this is the cookie butter. This is what the cookie butter.
This is free shit from free shit from a plane.
So they grind this up, turn it into a butter, and they put it in those Oreos. That's what this is. That's
That's amazing.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's weird. I spent all that time talking about KitKats and I didn't hand you a KitKat. All right, here. This is one you probably won't like, but I'm gonna hand it to you anyway because it is a KitKat. Sake from Japan.
Sake KitKat.
If you guys don't know, Japan is fucking nuts with the KitKats. And was it you who told me this? The story about why they're so insane with KitKats?
No, I didn't know this.
All right, here's the story I've heard about Japan and KitKats. So, KitKat in Japan has always been popular, but they wanted this, like, Japanese famous, like, chocolatier chef to be responsible for Japanese KitKats, but he's a bit eccentric. So, when they hired him, he said, I'll do it under one condition, which was that whatever flavor I come up with, you have to make it. Which means I'll make, strawberry shortcake ones, sure, but if I decide to make fucking squid flavored, you have to produce it and put it on store shelves.
Wow.
Anything he wants, that's the contract, he gets to make it. So as a result, and he's also like, I want to do it for a month and then I'll never touch it again. So there's a lot of KitKats that come and go over there. But as a result, there's a shit ton of different flavors. And if you ever go, the easiest place to get them is at the airport. I never see them in the wild. Just fun fact. But as a result, there's a bunch of weird ones. So let's hand you this one.
All right. Oh no, dude! I actually wanted to try this, but the box was like $60 to get it.
Dude, they're like
Okay.
$5 even at the airport.
This is Shenmue apple, so this is an apple KitKat, and it's unique to Japan. They don't have it anywhere else, and I know a lot about this. It was too expensive to pick it up. Oh, that's
In Japan, it ain't shit, son.
That's so awesome.
Let's see here.
He's got like 50 more things.
Oh, there's a lot of crap in here. This one is from Austria. I got this when it was with you, Ronald.
Oh yeah, cookie. Wait. That's not cookie dough. That's cookie. There's an actual cookie.
Nice.
Yep.
Oh my god. So it's KitKat cookie. So it's like an actual chunky.
People are asking why I didn't get anything for Scott. Scott already got his junk food. Trust me. I hooked him up with some stuff I knew he'd want. He was.
Yeah, I got all my stuff yesterday.
Yeah, I got him German Coca-Cola, German Pepsi, Japanese. I got him some KitKats too, but
got me some KitKats.
I also got you a Nutella Be Ready or Bready thing. It's a pun.
Yeah, you got me some cinnamon Pop-Tarts.
Yeah,
they don't sell them in Canada all the time, but I love those things.
So I bring them up from the States. But it's this guy is the sugar junkie. Let's see here.
Ronald, thank you. I owe you one. Probably more than one.
Ronald,
actually.
those games look amazing, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, Ronald.
This is actually not. This is from fucking Hungary. I got that in Hungary.
Oh, what is this?
It's the. Ronald was there. Ronald, you remember when I bought this? It's like. It's their big brand of chocolate in that country. If you ever get the chance to go to Hungary, go. It's the cheapest country in the world. It's great.
Oh, kick-ass, so it's Nestle chocolate.
It is, but it's only sold in one country, in the Eastern Bloc.
I think this is, maybe somebody out there knows how to pronounce this. I think this is fudge cake.
Retro Gamers Hub 5 says 5 million KitKat bars are eaten daily by the Japanese.
It doesn't surprise me, man. They're everywhere.
They're like green tea KitKats are insane.
Green tea KitKat is fucking dirt common. You can get that anywhere.
I know, but yeah.
Trust me when I say you'll see a lot of weird shit.
Rerez gets his Halloween haul.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. This is for Halloween. Sure, let's go with that. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, dude, what?
Cranberry almond chocolate.
Oh my god. I didn't even know they did this.
They don't do them very long, man.
Dude, like, thank you. This is
Yeah,
insane.
no problem.
So there's like actual cranberry and almond chunks on the top of the KitKat bar.
Wow.
I love cranberry. That's like...
Ronald is asking how we're all doing. We're all doing awesome, and we wish you were here.
Yeah, you should come over, man. We'll hang out. You can get through Canadian customs way easier than American. This is a random thing I found. It just struck me as something you might enjoy. I don't even know what it is.
What's it called? Crunky?
Crunky?
Is this from Japan?
Doesn't it look like Japan?
Yeah.
No, man, that's from Poland. All that Japanese text. Yeah.
Crunky. I don't recognize any of the company names.
It could be the best thing ever. You
I love the name though. Crunky. It's like, does anybody here know how to spell crunchy? No.
Eat crunky.
Not crunky.
Cookies and cream ice cream. Cookies and cream ice cream drops.
Nice.
Oh, I've never heard of that. All right, cool.
We're gonna go back to Oreos for a bit. Okay.
Oh my god.
We're going to German Oreos now.
German Oreos.
German Oreos.
All right.
I'm sure that was offensive to everyone. Ronald, pronounce it for me. How do you say German Oreos?
I think it's just
He'll get back to me.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Okay, so...
Now, these unfortunately have started showing up in the States, but the German ones I guarantee you are better.
This chocolate is so much better. Okay, I need to explain this. When I was a kid, they used to do this in Canada, and they actually had fudge-covered Oreos.
Oh, I remember those.
The problem was, in Canada, we had a certain kind of chocolate. In the U.S., they actually started making them. And the fudge they use in the U.S. is pretty good. But German chocolate...
Oh, German shit is legitimate.
And this is from Mandela's International. So this is made in Spain. So it's going to be using European chocolate.
Nice.
That is awesome. Dude, Robin's going to freak out when she sees this.
It gets so much better. I like to build anticipation. Other German Oreos.
Oh! It's the chocolate variant. Like, oh my god. I didn't even know they made this anymore. I've always
only in fucking Europe, man.
Oh, dude, this is so cool. Oh, these are the best. Do you like Oreos? Well, how about Oreos are covered in chocolate? It's like the best thing you can get.
If only those were the chocolate cream Oreos with fudge covered bullshit. That'd be insane. See, that's why I'm an American. This is just the bullshit we come up with. Ronald's like, read Ronald's comment. Let's see here.
Ronald, you're the man.
Well, read it out
I
loud.
love you. Ronald said, dude, I was in Hungary today. Just came back, and Scott, I'm glad you like the games. You don't owe me nothing, really. Ronald's honestly the nicest guy.
Ronald's legit as fuck.
Yeah,
he lets me stay at his house and stuff in Austria. Nice guy.
Awesome guy.
This is a gag gift, but it has some meaning.
Okay.
Just a bag. Open it though. Like, just look at the label. Look where it's from. Does that mean anything to you?
Book off?
That means something to them. That's like the best place in Japan to buy video games. Book off.
Book off.
Yeah. You ever see like Luke Morris 1 videos? That's where he's going all the time. Book off.
There you go.
Maybe I'll go to one
There,
one day.
You might. Book Off is also, oddly, they have one store in New York City for some reason. And, like 2 in Hawaii and like 1 in LA.
Really?
It's a big Japanese thing. It's just a bag.
Megan, the moderator, says, we make chocolate-covered Oreos where I work.
And they're
That is awesome, Megan.
Yeah.
She's the one who made you the apple.
Yeah, I know. And Megan, those are probably really good. But when they do the mass-produced thing, they don't use the good chocolate that you and your team do where you work, right? So they just make whatever the regular.
But that's Germany, so they do it well.
Yeah.
We need to go to Megan's place.
Germans don't.
Awesome.
Germans don't fuck with chocolate, man.
Yeah, Germans have like a standard system.
Yeah, he says Deutsch chocolate. Deutsch Oreos. That makes sense. All right, let's see here. So we just gave you Oreos and a gag gift.
Oh my god, this is so
That one should be last.
I'll figure this out. I want to go with something completely different.
What is this? Oh.
That is a German Coca-Cola. The kind of Coke I'm always saying is the best fucking Coke on the planet. Right there. Glass bottle, German Coca-Cola. Reason it's good, it's real sugar, unlike the bullshit they use in both of our countries. But at the same time, so it's like a Mexican Coke, but the water supply they use in Germany is much better. So as a result, it's really fucking good. The Germans have a tendency to over-carbonate it, though. So if you like, I like it a little more flat.
I'm fine with that.
I like it a little more flat, so I tend to let it air out a little. But aside from that, it's like
I can't wait to drink mine.
Yeah, I got him one, and I got him a German Pepsi because he really likes Pepsi.
Well, thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem.
I've heard you've talked to me about that.
That's why I want you to try it. Make sure you share all the shit with your wife.
Oh yeah.
I'm not getting in trouble over this.
No.
Like, I'm gonna come back and he's
Neither
just
is
like,
Shane.
he's got like fucking diabetes and he's like huge, and I was like, you're supposed to share.
And not eat it all at once.
He's like, but I have Canadian healthcare. It's fine. I can just get it pumped. I'm good.
I think you know how healthcare works.
I don't have to know. I'm not a citizen. Let's see here.
Right.
All right, let's go back to. We're gonna go back to Japan for a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
We're going on a trip.
We're going all over the world.
When Adam said he was getting me like 1 or 2 things, I was just like, oh yeah, cool, 1 or 2 things. But now it's like it's insane.
I checked a bag just so he could have crap.
These were beside the Apple ones, and I couldn't get them because they were twice as much as the Apple ones.
Cheap as shit over there.
I went to Anime North. I was like a guest there, and everything like it's just because it was imported, so it's so expensive.
Dude,
this is
food in Japan is comically cheap.
So this is not just grape KitKat.
Yeah, you didn't say what it was yet.
Yeah, this is Kyoho grape. So this is the Japanese variant of grape that they have in Japan, and I don't know the whole story behind it, but it's a very sweet grape. So this is a grape flavored KitKat.
Nice.
There's also like wine and stuff there too.
There's actually three different sets of it in there.
Oh, cool.
Well, it's all 3 of the same KitKat, but it's like 3 KitKats.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'll individually wrap.
Yeah. 3 individually wrapped. This one I have not tried because I found it in one store and I decided to give it to you.
Oh.
It's baseball flavored.
What the hell?
Was a hot dog?
I know it's citrus, but it's just a picture of a guy playing baseball on it.
Oh my god. Yeah. So citrus flavored KitKat, which I didn't even know they made.
Of course you don't. The amount of flavors over there that come and go so quick. It's like us with the Oreos. They go. It's all over the place. All right. So we did KitKats for a little bit. Let's do something random again.
This is insane, man. Okay. All right.
Strawberry chocolate Japanese thing. I don't know what it is.
I know the company. I like them a lot. They make Pocky. Michi. So this is Michi. So it's the same. I believe it's the same kind of chocolate they use on Pocky, but they've put fruit gels in the center. Nice. That is really cool.
He's gonna die of beaties.
I am gonna die of beaties.
Yep.
Many a beaties.
I got the beaties. All right. We will go with.
Is there more?
Oh yeah, we're going back to Europe for a little
There's
bit.
a lot left,
my
man.
god.
We're making a stop.
This is insane.
We're making another stop in Europe.
There
here.
are boxes of crap at my feet. This is too much. Oh my god.
That's what's fun about it.
Oh man.
We're going back to Europe.
Right.
Look at those flavors.
What?
KitKats from Germany. Read the flavors, buddy.
Okay, so this is multi KitKat flavors: caramel, mocha, milk chocolate, cookies and cream flavor, and hazelnut. I mean, it's insane.
Hoodoo Man.
There are way too many flavors in that. Mocha. That is so weird. Oh, I gotta try this. Oh man. Okay.
So I hate to disappoint, but we are officially done in Europe. Sorry,
Really?
Europeans. We're going back to Japan. Something familiar in Japan, but yet new. Oatmeal Snickers.
Oatmeal Snickers.
Thanks, Japan.
Wow.
Oh my god, what?
That's hilarious.
I didn't even know they did.
Of course you don't. Why the fuck? If I had known it was a thing, I wouldn't buy it. It's interesting.
So
when you
that's
don't.
oatmeal Snickers. That feels like something that So that feels like something you'd see in the U.S., not really Japan, right?
Oh, Japan. Here's the thing about Japan.
I don't know what their oatmeal eating habits are.
Here's
so
the thing
I
about
can't comment.
Japan. Apparently, the daily life in Japan is considered incredibly monotonous because you're kind of forced in these routines, and it's always socially required of you to be in those routines. So one of the few things they can do to break it is interesting food. So the snacks over there are ridiculous because it's a thing to break up monotony. That's what I was told. And I'm like, that kind of makes sense because they do these like short burst snacks that are really good, and then they just try something else. That's why you always see these things online. They're like, hey, this month Burger King is doing like the squid flavored one with the bullshit, this and that. You're like, why are they doing that? Because they're bored.
I would actually eat a squid flavored Snickers because just the fact that it exists, you must. You know?
I went to a Burger King there and I got the shrimp. It was like a shrimp burger, and Burger King.
And it was good, right?
Oh, it was fucking great. They know what they're doing. Anyway, we're still in Japan for a little bit here. Now, we're going to go with something actually completely different.
Okay. Oh.
It's a weird... I got that in a book off. Yeah, of course. It's yours. It's a random Super Famicom third-party controller that I found that just kind of amused me.
Oh my god, there's no branding or licensing on it.
That's why I thought he'd like it. He likes bullshit.
How does it feel?
Awful. I love
Nice.
that.
Yeah.
I've never seen one like this.
Yeah, of course you haven't. Oh yeah, sorry, I left the price tag on. It was $3.
Boy. Okay, I don't know who made this, but I'm a sucker for controllers. I mean, heck, I made one, right?
Yeah,
So-
that's a Super Famicom controller. When I got it, I thought it was a PlayStation controller, and I thought
Weird.
that's why I bought it, because I
I
thought it
can't
was
believe that went into
PS1,
production.
because I thought it was just weird. But then I realized, like, oh, I'm an idiot. That's a fucking Super Famicom controller board.
But it's got the look, right?
Yeah, I brain farted and I misremembered what the controller board
It's
looks
so
like.
weird. The select button is up at the top instead of
Yeah.
like that is a weird place to put that.
Yeah, I thought you'd like it just because it was weird as shit.
Okay, so this is it's got a slow button on here. So what the slow button would do is it would just start. That's all it would do, and it would make everything feel like it was in slow motion, but it never really worked.
Jeez.
Oh man.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
We're moving on.
Oh my god.
We're staying in Japan, and then we're done with our adventure here.
Okay.
We will go with this.
Whoa. Oreo crispy.
That's vanilla cupcake version.
Vanilla cupcake.
Look, check this
Oreo
out.
Crispy.
Up there. It's in English.
Oreo 30th birthday in Japan. Oh man. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
That actually looks like it's going to be really good. So there you go, Oreo crispy. And there's the 30th anniversary thing at the top there.
All right. Ready?
Okay. This is insane.
Tiramisu.
Tiramisu.
Oh wow. Nice.
Can you do that?
They've done it. Japan has found a way.
You're about to find out whether or not they should have.
Another one?
You gotta start quoting Jurassic Park. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could. They didn't stop to think if they should.
This
All right,
is insane.
and we have our last item here. I'm sorry if it wasn't that much, but
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't that much?
yeah, I'm sorry I disappointed you, Shane.
Oh my god.
God damn it.
Oh, dude. So this would definitely... So this is green tea, Matcha green tea Oreo.
There it is.
I've never
The
had that
green tea
before.
Oreo.
Yep. Dude, those fucking Japanese Oreos were really hard to find. I went to like 10 grocery stores to find those things. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, dude.
I like to put fake guilt on them. I mean, that happened. It was true, but I'm not actually upset about it.
Oh, man.
But I'm fucking pissed.
How many items is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23 individual random candies and cookies.
And one soda.
And one soda.
Dude, it's Michael Jordan's number. I had to do it. I'm from Chicago. Otherwise, it would be a sin or something.
Dude, it's so much.
Did you include the plastic bag in that?
Oh, shoot, no, I missed that one. Yeah.
Fucking asshole. Then I overshot it. I need one back.
No, I didn't even talk about the controller. I was just talking about the
I'm
candies.
just fucking with you.
Oh, man. Oh, dude, this is insane.
Enjoy. You're gonna die.
I'm probably...
Scott's like, I can tell. You're jealous. I gave you stuff. Stop being mad.
I'm actually fine with that.
He's so pissed off.
I have a lot of stuff to eat still.
He's so pissed off. He's buying
Never.
me dinner. That's why I'm doing all this.
I'll go to Japan and buy that stuff.
Yeah, you can go to Japan.
And visit Ronald.
Yeah.
Buy a bunch of
So
other
you
stuff.
buy that stuff in Europe too. So really, you can get all these things.
Yeah.
Except for the American stuff, you can't get that.
Well, when I come see you, I can.
No, you can't. There's discontinued. I made sure of it.
All right. I'm going
He
to the
made sure of it. He called Oreo, shut it down!
I got... Dude,
going to
Nabisco...
the
What do you
Oreo
think?
factory and
Nabisco
make
is
it.
owned by Kraft. You know where Kraft is? They're in Chicago. They are fucking 20 minutes from where I live.
Yep. We know Kraft. Don't worry. We eat a lot of Kraft dinner.
Oh, man.
Anyway, let's get back to some questions for a little bit, and then we're probably going to head out.
Yeah.
So sorry about that. I know it's a Q&A, and we spent like a good half hour opening junk food, but Shane had some fun. I'm sorry, I might require trying some of those because the crispy one, like I didn't buy any of those for myself.
Oh, yeah, man, absolutely.
Like the American ones.
You're not allowed
They're
to
your
have
property
any,
now,
yeah.
so they're
Jeez.
technically in international waters or whatever. So that's yours. I can't do anything about it. No authority here. It's fine, dick.
One guy asked Adam, "Did you get to try the Fritz Cola in Germany?"
Fritz Cola. That doesn't sound familiar. Ronald, you might know if you're still here. Did I drink that? I know I had a lot of Spezi. Spezi's really good. You'd probably like... Do you like orange soda?
Yeah.
Spezi is a concept and a brand at the same time. Spezi is half Coca-Cola, half like orange Fanta. There's a... Coca-Cola makes a bottle of it called Mezzo Mix. That one's okay. But when you go into like a bar or whatever, they'll make it themselves. And they have their own like mixture and balance. And it can be really, really good.
Well, it's like, yeah, because like Fanta's from Germany originally, so like everything they know how to do, like good, you know.
Plus, trust me on that Coke. That shit's legit.
I'm going to.
I'm just gonna let Scott be in charge of questions.
Yeah. I can't see because I'm already like I'm getting residual sugar rush from
It happens,
this,
man.
and it's like
Here's a Shenmue question
All right.
by Brian. Besides Shenmue 2, what OG Xbox game would you like to see be made compatible with ours?
Easy.
And I gotta answer that first because
Fine,
I
Dick.
really want Burnout 3 Takedown more than anything.
Yeah, I agree.
And apparently a lot of people agree with me, but Burnout 3 Takedown is a must. Because that is a classic.
I feel that I like Burnout Paradise, but the older Burnout games had a different, more arcadey aspect to them that I really enjoyed, and I've missed that. And the team they've never made another one like that. So
Burnout Revenge I liked better than Paradise. Revenge was good on 360. Excellent game.
I bought it on 360, but they haven't brought it forward on Xbox One or anything like that, and
I know.
It hurts.
I know. Like seriously, they got to do something about that.
I
think a lot of people have said it to them. So
I would probably go with Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 as like my next choice, and then after that maybe like Conquer Live and Reloaded.
That's already on Rare Replay, but it's
No,
it's
that's the N64
yeah,
version.
That's the N64.
I mean, I'm looking at your stuff because you have some of the highlights like Panzer Dragoon, Orta, Jet Set Radio Future is a really good choice. A lot of that Sega stuff will probably end up on there, in my opinion, because Sega loves to do stuff like that.
You know what I love? Just because they probably could do it. What if Microsoft was like, yeah, let's just let people put GD-ROMs in there and just read the GD-ROMs.
Dude, you know what's fucked up? You are not even close to the first person to say that.
Why not?
Don't you need a different laser though?
No. See, here's the thing. The way the Xbox One works, all it has to do is detect the disc and read an ID. That's all it
true.
needs. It doesn't need... See, the thing about Dreamcast discs, they are essentially music discs. If you put it into anything else, it'll read like one layer of it.
That's
It's
true.
a music CD, so it detects it.
Yeah,
but it can't do anything else beyond that point.
If you put an Xbox original disc in a new Xbox One, all it's doing is it's reading the disc and then it downloads all the information it needs. It does not read straight from the disc. It's basically just considered like the key to start your car, essentially.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
The key, it doesn't actually have gasoline in it or the engine, right?
It's like those old PC games where you had to have the CD and the CD-ROM, but it didn't actually spin.
Yeah.
Everything was on the PC.
I'm just saying, I find it funny because so many people have suggested exactly the same idea about, well, what if they just enable Dreamcast backwards compatibility? I'm like, where is that coming from? Because nobody's saying it about any other company. Nobody's saying like, oh, there should be like Neo Geo CD compatibility. It's why is it always Dreamcast? Not that I'm complaining. I'm the Dreamcast guy. I just want to know where that's coming from.
Sony, isn't going to be doing that
Yeah.
because Sony doesn't need to. They're the most successful.
They're also their own thing.
Nintendo was going to do it because they don't have an optical drive. But Microsoft is legitimately in a space right now where they're hurting. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They want to be more successful. They want to reach out to more. And I think that by Microsoft just accepting the gaming format as a whole and taking, because that's you hit the nail on the head when you talked about how PlayStation has all these old games and Nintendo does. Well, guess what? Microsoft doesn't. They only exist at a certain point. If Microsoft were to be like, yeah, okay, let's just say Dreamcast games can work on it now. Sure, why not? Because they can if they really wanted to. And they have that relationship with Sega from an early standpoint.
And Sega likes making money for doing nothing. That's like their favorite thing in the world.
Ronald did say he did try it.
Yeah, he said, apparently I tried it at my Berlin meetup. Thanks, Ronald. I'm glad you remember these things, because I didn't. I remember doing the meetup, I just remember that.
And now I have all the Dreamcast games, so I could just...
You have the North American set.
North American
Cheater.
I have Shenmue 2.
Cheater.
I have Shenmue 2, PAL,
You have a
and
couple,
Japanese.
You have a couple of PAL games I got you, right?
Yeah, but
Like
I have
Stunt Racer?
I have Shenmue 2 PAL, and I have Shenmue 2...
Toy Racer. We got
Yeah.
your Toy Racer. Remember
Headhunt-
Toy Commander?
I love Toy Commander.
Toy Commander had a sequel on the Dreamcast, sort of, in Europe only. called Toy
Headhunter,
Racer.
I have.
Headhunter's good.
Yeah.
I got the sequel up there.
Yeah, you got Headhunter Redemption?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll probably be compatible at some point. I'm betting you those Sega titles will be all compatible.
Like everything up there was game. Like Tron 2.0 Killer App. That's the best version of that game, and it's only on Xbox.
San Francisco Rush 2049, if you could pop that in, would be awesome.
I'll bet you, though, that none of
That's
that
a great
Outrun
game.
stuff comes.
No.
Because of Ferrari. That's something I learned about recently. I thought those would be fine, but apparently the deal with Ferrari fell through with Sega, so you probably never see one of those again.
Yeah.
Well, technically, they're not re-releasing it. They're just...
But there's licensing involved. Because essentially the legal argument for why they can't just make perfect compatibility is because rather than having it read the disc and it being reliant on the original media, they have to essentially offer the option to resell it. By reselling it, they renew the... I'm going to call it a copyright, even though it's probably not an accurate term. They renew it. They renew the sale, so you have to have a new deal cut. And if you can't agree to that, then you can't do that. So there you go. Take some more questions. Favorite versions of Shenmue. Actually, my favorite version of Shenmue is completely unofficial. It's Shenmue 1 Undub, which took the... This isn't it. But Shenmue 1 Undub...
He's just handing you stuff.
Just thanks. I appreciate it. Did we just trade?
That's what Shenmue?
Yeah, it's what Shenmue. I'm very familiar with it.
Yes,
I have the Famitsu edition.
that's the only one I have.
You have the sealed edition.
Well, you have Shenmue and Dreamcast.
It's actually
okay.
not sealed. It's like,
You fucking liar.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, Shenmue 1 Undub is great because it is the European build of the Dreamcast game, but it's got the Japanese audio. So with English subtitles, so it's more natural and doesn't sound as weird. And then it transfers over to Shenmue 2, which of course already natively on Dreamcast was Japanese audio and English subtitles, so it just feels better. But that's an unofficial project. So I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know who knows this. I went to, when I was just there in Japan, I stayed in Dobuita, I stayed in Yokosuka, and I was, like, my hotel was on Dobuita Street. And I had no fucking idea, because I didn't know that's where I was going. So you guys will see, I'm going to be doing a video. I shot a bunch of footage, and I'm going to do a video on it. It'll come out later this month, probably, like, the 29th, I think. I think that's when I think I scheduled it for. So you'll see some weird footage. That's some Shenmue shit. You guys keep picking them, man. You got this.
Do you want me to pick?
I want you to just keep picking, man.
What music do you guys listen to?
I'm not really a music guy. When I do, it's usually stuff from movies.
I went to see Guns N' Roses at the Air Canada Centre in downtown Toronto on Sunday and Monday. My 8th and 9th time. I'm a huge fan. I like AC/DC. I like old rock. I couldn't tell you what plays on the radio. Like, I know nothing.
Because of my new job, I've been listening to a lot of modern music, like a lot.
You've changed, man.
Well, no, I
It
like
used to be about the games.
I like music a lot. When I'm working, I usually like to listen to something that's just easy to that just something that doesn't really conflict with what I'm doing, like editing a video or something. So I'll listen to. I've been listening to mixtapes of 1980s and 1990s Japanese pop, mostly earlier or later to the 80s. I listen to heavy metal. I listen to rap. I listen to techno, trance, house.
I'm all over the place like that too.
Yeah, some country, not a lot. I listen to just way too much stuff. It's just it's insane.
That's good. Diversify.
Yeah, diversify. Like it's an investment.
That question just made me think we should.
Megan, you're awesome. I love you already. She says she loves GNR.
She's gonna. Be careful, man. She's gonna start stalking the shit out of you.
Yeah, it happens.
Like she'll have like fake profiles of you and everything, and be like, "Oh, I'm Scott the Canadian." It's
Did anyone find the Shenmue Saturn?
She's Megan, not the Canadian.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The beta of that.
Yeah.
Supposedly it exists, but nobody knows who would have it. Somewhere in Sega's bowels, somewhere.
This
question I saw made me interested. I was considering changing the title of the video on the basis of this. It says, "You guys are from Canada, so do you like Drake?" It's not so much about the question specifically. It's the idea that I want to create a segment right now called Ask a Canadian. If you've ever been confused about what it's like to be in Canada or what Canadians do, you've got two of them right here who are very willing to talk to scared Americans who don't want to check out the border, or like Europeans who are just like, what's Canada? Like, what's the deal?
Scott, do you like Drake?
I've heard a couple of his songs. Seems alright. I don't actively listen to that, but
so when you're listening to rap music, you're listening to the lyrics. That's primarily. I mean, the backbeat, the production of the song can vary from bit to bit. There's a lot of Drake songs that are really good, but then there's some songs that he has where the lyrics are just like written by a child.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. It's not to make fun of him completely, but it's just when you listen to somebody like Run DMC or Eminem or something like that who has like a perfect command over the lyrics, sometimes there's like a song that's just thrown out that just doesn't work. And Drake stuff can work sometimes, but I don't like rap music where it's like, yo, I got a lot of money. Yeah, okay.
I agree with you. I've actually gone and read the lyrics to like some Jay-Z songs and a lot of pretty much all the Eminem songs, and it's incredible what they do with words. Like it's absolutely amazing.
Like it's
incredible.
It's literally poetry, right?
Yeah.
Now Drake, the first I've ever heard of him was on the show he was on when
Degrassi.
Degrassi.
Yeah, that's how
he was an actor, right?
Canada
like
show. Degrassi equals Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's a good example of a Canadian question, which we have a few, so we'll get back to that.
But like on Drake's liner notes or whatever for like one of his latest albums, he actually took a picture in the city I live in like a really expensive restaurant. That's like the most expensive restaurant here. I've never been to it because like I'm a YouTuber.
So
Adpocalypse.
I'm gonna right. Speaking of which, help. Anyway, no. So we're gonna do some power Canadian questions here. So I'm just gonna ask you real quick. You just answer. What the fuck is a Winnipeg?
I went to Winnipeg when I was 12, and
power question.
It was just it was all right.
What is it?
What is it? It's a city in Manitoba, which is a province.
There you go. What is the most Canadian video game?
The most Canadian video game? The Warriors on from Rockstar.
Are Canadians scared of the dark?
No, but that was a popular show when I was growing up on YTV. You don't know what YTV is.
I've heard of it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dude, no. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. That's the most Canadian video game.
Yes.
I'd say. Right?
Yeah.
I would have said like NHL something or other.
All right, lightning round. Go ahead.
I'm trying. Winnipeg is a replacement leg for Winnie the Pooh, correct?
No.
Okay. Canada is politically correct hell, correct?
According to the people that go to university that I know, yes.
We just got a super chat. Sorry. From Richard R. Thank you again. Japanese candy is really good. There is way more weirder stuff. Rerez the Blue Heart is a great Japanese punk rock band from the 80s.
I would definitely listen to that.
Nice.
Excuse me. Thank you very much for the super chat, Richard.
What's hard about collecting retro games in Canada? Well, I can tell you
I'll just let them handle this one.
It took me a very long time to finish Dreamcast. In fact, I went to the States a lot and bought a lot.
And he had me smuggle them across the border.
Yeah, I shipped him a lot of stuff, and he smuggled it over the border. But Dreamcast is very difficult. When you think of the population density, what is it, like 300 Americans against 30 million Canadians? And that was even less back in like the Nintendo and Super Nintendo games. It's not as prevalent.
Even when the Dreamcast was new, I remember having to drive an hour away just to get Gundam Side Story. When the game had just come out, nobody had it except for one store. It was insane. And the thing was, you're thinking, oh, everybody wanted Gundam Side Story. It was canon. Nobody wanted Gundam Side Story on the Dreamcast. I wanted Gundam Side Story on the Dreamcast because I happened to play the demo on OMDC. So I couldn't get the damn game anywhere, and there was one copy, and nobody was buying it, and I just had to drive there to get it. And at the time, I couldn't drive, so it was an asshole of a trip. That's what I hated about... If you're in Canada, there are certain items that are not hard to come by. Do you want a Game Genie? They're prevalent here because we had so many Game Genies. They were never illegal here. It was always okay. Do you want a Crystal Xbox? Next to nothing.
We never got it in the States.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you want a common thing, in the U.S., sometimes it wasn't so common here, and it can be ridiculously expensive.
It's really hard for them. All right, so here's a little fucked up legal situation for them. If he comes down to the States and he buys something, when he comes back, he has to declare it and potentially pay a duty on it, right?
Yep.
I just brought all that shit here because I'm not a citizen of Canada. I don't have to pay squat to bring that into this country. But if he did, he would have had to pay for it.
So I think they changed it, but I think if you're there less than 24 hours, it's $50. If you're more than 24 hours, it's $200. And if you're more than 48 hours, you can bring back $800 with the stuff I bought from the States. And I abide by those rules. If you bring back more, then you just pay a duty. And I never lie about it, just because if you lie about it, then you're going to end up on some shit list, and going over the border is going to be horrible. Yeah. I rather just...
Now, here's the difference.
I rather pay the duty, but yeah.
And it's like the benefits we get from things that we purchase here. It's like everything levels out, so it's important to do that.
Well, I'm not saying there aren't benefits. Healthcare is nice. I get it.
No, it's not that. If I pay the duty... If I go over and I pay the duty, it was still cheaper for me to go down there and buy it.
That's even cheaper when you have an American.
Yeah, and it's even better when our dollars.
Yeah, that's a problem too. But see, here's the thing. There's a little bit of a difference there, because I'm sure a lot of people will point out the States do have that. We do have like duties. The difference is we don't enforce it. Ever.
Yeah, Adam's
I've never had it enforced. In fact, only once has a guy at the border control ever asked me about it, and he did it in such a way as to explain to me to lie to him on purpose. He was like... so what did you get while you were there? I was like, I got some video game systems. He's like, okay, how much did that up? I was like, I don't know. He's like, can you tell me a number, and please tell me something under $800, because if you do, you can just go through. If you do not, I have to charge you. And I was like, it was under $800. He's like, well, congratulations, welcome home. Yeah. And I was like, you just explained to me that I'm supposed to lie to you. And like, that's the one time ever crossing it. And I cross borders pretty frequently. That is the one time that's ever come up.
Yeah, you filled up your entire car.
Yeah. Okay, like January 2016, I was up here for like an entire month, and you guys, I'm sure, saw videos on it. I bought so much fucking crap while I was up here. My car was filled like to capacity.
I couldn't believe you even got it back.
Yeah, I really couldn't. And I was like, okay, when I went to the border, I was convinced there was no possible way they weren't going to stop me. Like, what did you just move here? Like, what's the deal? Why is there so much shit in your car? I was convinced I was going to go through hell. So I give the dude my passport, and he says, where are you coming from? I was like, Toronto. He's like, where are you headed? I said, Chicago. He hands me back passport. Welcome home. Nothing beyond that. Nothing. They don't care. They don't care. The American side, if you're a citizen, that control can be easy. I don't envy you guys when you have to come through. Sorry.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. Canadian customs getting here, easy too for an American. I land, I have this little piece of paper. It says everything I did. I put it into a machine. It scans it. I hand it to a human being who doesn't ask me anything. It says, all right, you're good. That's it. There's no like, why are you here? What are you doing? All that shit. At least in Toronto. Though I noticed, I went to Winnipeg back in May for FanQuest, and that was the one time in my life I got a Canadian stamp. Ever. They stamped my passport and they asked me a million questions. Like, when was the last time you were in Canada? I was like, I was in Toronto. They're like, why? I was like, hang out with friends. Like, they grilled me in Winnipeg, but not Toronto.
I've always gotten stamps. Like, I got stamps from Panama.
Well, yeah, but usually if you're American or Canadian, between the two, you don't get stamps because you waste all your pages.
Yeah, London, England, Slantline, everywhere.
Yeah. I'll show you the Japanese stamp if you want. It's actually like a sticker. They put their OG over there. Anyway, a couple more questions, then we're probably going to head out because I think we all want to go get dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get dinner. We're going to go all-you-can-eat Chinese.
Cool.
Yeah, we're going to Mandarin. Any Canadians in there know all about Mandarin, I'm sure.
I had it once. It was pretty good.
It's alright.
So we'll take a. Do you want Intrepid Izzy? I backed that on Kickstarter. I'm glad they succeeded in that. You may not know this. Intrepid Izzy is going to be an indie game for the Dreamcast, made by the guys who made Rush Rush Rally Racing. Seattle team.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a new Dreamcast game that'll be coming now. I don't know when, but it'll be happening eventually. Thoughts on the new Bubsy game? You seem like someone who might have something to say about that.
I don't. Marketing doesn't work on me all that much. So when I saw the marketers for Bubsy trying to make it sound like, isn't this funny? We're making a Bubsy game. LOL. Bubsy's back. LOL. I'm just like, no. You're done. You finished. You don't need to come back. You could have spent that money making a Bubsy game, making anything else, but you chose to make another Bubsy game. And unfortunately, as far as I'm to understand, I haven't played it myself. Everyone that's played it has told me it's bad. So what was the point? You know what would have been funny? If they made a fucking good Bubsy game. That would have been hilarious. But instead, they just made another bad one. What's the point?
When Bubsy came out, we were having it was somebody's birthday, and we rented it the day it came out, and we beat it. But by the end of the game, that's on Super Nintendo, this is way back, you just couldn't stand the sound effects anymore. Like, by the time you finished it, you were just over it. And I think I beat Bubsy too, but remember Bubsy 3D on PlayStation? That completely, torpedoed it. I never thought they would bring it back. But
Sometimes shit happens, son.
Yeah.
Scott, do you collect indie Dreamcast games like Adam does?
I do not.
He only collects the real ones.
He collects North American ones, which in his mind is real only. That's like
no. I've played a couple indie games. They're awesome. It's just I just never got around to collecting it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's not for everybody, but there's a lot of legit good ones. The best one, Stormwind. You ever play Stormwind?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
That's like the one that really I would have believed came out, in the original run. It was good stuff. I heard Adam's opinion on this, but the other guys, what are your guys' thoughts on the OSSC? Have either of you used it?
What's OSSC?
Yeah, I'm going to take that as a no. It's like a cheaper alternative to the FrameMeister. I did a video on it.
No.
I did a review.
I didn't hear about that.
It's the plastic one.
All right, so I had an older one. When I did the video, it only had DVI out. It did RGB incredibly well, although I found that it didn't do the other aspects as well. And one of my big complaints was the way it output was through HDMI, or it was only through DVI, and it had this weird output method where it would double the resolution of whatever it detected. So a lot of capture devices couldn't use it, and I couldn't get it to work with anything capture-wise. So I actually got an angry message from someone who was involved with it because they were like, "What are you talking about? It's flawless." And I'm like, "It doesn't do these things," and they're like, "Well, it's never going to. It doesn't have to." And I was like, "Okay." And now they released an HDMI version. Now I haven't seen that version, and I'd be very happy to do an updated video were I to get one, but that is not currently the situation. But I'm totally open to checking it out again if they made adjustments. I still liked it. It is something I would recommend for RGB. It's beautiful at that. And if you want to play the games, just play them, and you want to use RGB, it's a great device for that. But if you're going to get into capturing devices, it is not for you because it is, at least the older one, doesn't really work for that purpose.
See, I prefer to do the mod. Like the Capturus GameTech US NES mod is incredible.
Well, the thing is, the NES is different because you can't get RGB out of it without modding it. I'm talking something like the Sega Saturn does not require a modification because it's already in there. You just need a device to get it from the TV because we're in North America and we didn't have SCART.
Yeah.
What do you know about the Emirates? Emirates? Oh,
the United Arab Emirates?
Yeah.
I know how to pronounce it. I know the full name of the country. I know it's the UAE. I know Dubai's there. I know Abu Dhabi's there. That's what I know. I know it's a country in the Middle East. I know the Burj Dubai, the Burj Caliphate. Is that what it's called now? The big tallest building in the world. Is that enough for you?
Yeah. Dubai is amazing.
You been?
I've
seen a photo.
I've seen a photo.
I saw Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. That was awesome.
I love the architecture of the city.
Yeah, it looks great.
I've had a family friend that would go there regularly every couple of months or something for work, and it was just like the pictures he would bring back of everything there and just showing all they have an indoor ski hill.
Yeah, with sand.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. The money in that environment is insane.
Shane, you have a question? Wolfsight says, Shane, I have a controller for the NES I would like to donate for a video review. Would you be interested?
Sure. Yeah.
Contact them through...
I guess you'll see me... Well, if you ever want to send something really weird into the show, just contact me at RerezTV.
Twitter?
Yeah, on Twitter.
You have to say that.
On Twitter. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, on Twitter. I also, you can do Shane at rerez.net. That also works too. I got email. You know, there's things. There's things.
Will you be buying any of the recently announced Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 vinyl soundtracks? I hadn't heard that was a thing, but that would be really cool. I have a record player, and
you can never really go wrong with soundtracks, right?
Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
Some of those songs are not so great, but for the most part, pretty good music. I would do that, depending on cost too. Anything? What else do you see here? We just talked about the Atari box. We talked about it at some point.
Oh, Wolfside says he's going to be at the swap next Sunday, so he just give it to you. There you go.
There you go. Done.
I know we got some questions about Shenmue HD. Do you guys have thoughts? Because everybody asks me this all the time.
I mean, I
think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's just maybe they want to release it closer to Shenmue 3 to kind of build up the hype of the game.
It's got to be 1 and 2 together. I'm not expecting like enhanced textures or model work or anything like that. I just want a straight, possibly expansion into 16:9, just so we have a widescreen variation of it. Outside of that, honestly, it just makes too much sense. There's no reason not to do it. If we live in a society right now where people will buy Yakuza 0, I'm pretty sure an HD version of Shenmue would be fine. Like, it doesn't make any sense why they don't do that now.
So the holdups there, other than financial, have been more legal complicated, or bureaucratically complicated, let's put it that way. So the game contains a lot of corporate tie-ins, things like Timex, things like Zippo is, I think, Shenmue 2. Coca-Cola was infamously in the Japanese version of Shenmue 1. Sapporo beer is in Shenmue 2. Those are real companies. So they signed off on that game originally. To get them in the remaster, you have to get them to sign on again. Because much like those Xbox games we were talking about, they can't just resell those without new updates. So you have two problems. You either have the problem of getting to cut a new deal with them when you don't believe Shenmue is going to be successful. It's harder because you originally had a giant bloated budget that you could do stuff like that. Or you have to take the time to remove those assets, which either way is not cost effective, but you have to do one or the other. So that's I would say the holdup.
I think they should just rebuild it, remake it.
Scott,
full on remake?
Yeah.
Why not just say that? Although I will say this, I do think it's coming. And here's a little. I don't know if I should say it. Fuck it, I'm gonna say it anyway. So I'm on I have a Twitter bot thing where every third of every month my Twitter just says something like somebody writes a thing about wanting Shenmue 3 and HDs to come out, and it just retweets it to everybody, and I'm part of that system. I randomly got a response from a guy who works at Deep Silver saying, Now, Deep Silver is publishing Shenmue 3, so I can't help but wonder why he would have said that. But I kind of think there's a real legitimate possibility Deep Silver is going to publish Shenmue 1 and 2 HD.
With Shenmue?
It could be the PS4 version.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Were you going to say something to me?
Yeah, there was somebody was asking, I think they're asking both of us, maybe even Adam too, have you ever been to Kingston, Ontario?
I have been to Kingston, Ontario.
That's a good story.
I was on
I don't know what else to say.
I was on a Via Rail and I went through Kingston, Ontario. I mean, like, the closest I've ever been spending a lot of time is, and honestly, it's not that far out, Oshawa. Like, realistically, I think that's as far as I've gone.
My buddy has a cottage past Oshawa, so I've been up that way to Bob Gajan, which is like Kawartha Lakes. Kawartha Lakes. That's like northeast of Oshawa.
Oh yeah, I go to Bancroft all the time.
Yeah. So that's. I went to Ottawa to see Guns N' Roses in August. I mean.
Oh, then you're like driving through it.
Yeah, you drive past it on the 4-1. Yeah.
My buddy Trey over there says, "Is there a curve for prices of retro games, like how Atari is cheap, SNES pricey, OG Xbox cheap? What affects prices? Maybe emulators. Will prices go up and down for as a whole?" They always go up and down. I think they go up and down with generations.
Yeah, there's always a wave.
Yeah, it always comes in waves because eventually what happens is the generation that had them as kids, they never got all the ones they wanted as kids. When they get older and they have jobs, they're like, hey, I want to go buy my childhood back, and that's when the stuff gets expensive. But eventually they go to the next phase, which is I kind of would like to have my own house. I would like to have a wife. I want to get to that. Oh shit, I have all these video games sitting around. I better get rid of these. And then it goes back down to being cheap. So if you're interested in buying those things, you got to buy it before that wave or after that wave. So in the case of like OG Xbox, this is kind of where it's starting to go up. So get it while you can.
Yeah.
6th gen stuff.
Fusion Frenzy was $20.
Yeah, and I bought that for 50 cents, and I used to see 50 cents all over the place.
There's 2 Canadian questions. One, do all Canadians speak French? I don't speak a word of French. Adam probably knows more French.
I know one sentence in French.
And the other one was GSP is coming back to the UFC tonight. Do we care? I'm not a UFC guy. My brother's really into UFC, so I'm happy he's back, I guess.
George St. Pierre?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm so happy I got that name.
Yeah.
I've watched UFC once. It was with a group of friends, Terrence and Mike from The Hook. That was the only time I've really watched it with them, and I'm not really like a sports kind of person.
Yeah. I like hockey, but I actually would prefer to watch WrestleMania. I find it more entertaining.
You're kind of falling out of frame there.
Yeah, sorry. I got to lean on. I don't know. I think I'm not a wrestling guy either, but I'd probably prefer to watch WrestleMania or something like that.
This is going to sound sad, but it's like, at least I know no one's actually getting hurt with WrestleMania. Yeah. I mean, like, there's stress stuff, and it's like, it's hard to do wrestling as well, but man, when I see the blood sport happen in the UFC, it's like, man, I don't know. I don't really actually want to see someone bleed onto another person and dry hump on the floor for a couple of minutes.
I liked wrestling during the Attitude Era with Stone Cold, so in the hopes that maybe Stone Cold would come out, like that would be my only hope for.
Dude,
I don't know anybody else that wrestles really.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
That dude. I'm sorry. That dude taught me about how good a reveal can be.
Yeah.
Like, as a storyteller. And you wouldn't think that would be, like, the genesis of it. So, I'm going to tell a little story here. There was a time in, like, the late 90s, Stone Cold Steve Austin was, like, the height of his popularity. And he was, like, walking around in, like, a parking lot, and he gets hit by a car. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets hit by a car, and, like, there was, like, we don't know what's going to happen to him, what's wrong with him. And you didn't know for months. For months, there was no idea what was going on. And occasionally they'd check in. He's like at his house and he's got like the neck brace on. But he really was. It was really just him taking like 6 months off.
Yeah, he had a couple neck surgeries.
Yeah, but really and so you never knew when he was coming back. So this is months later. There's this random like fight between 2 guys. I think it was like The Undertaker and like Jeff Jarrett or something like that. Just 2 guys who are just fighting for some reason. And it was called, like, I don't remember what the term was, but it was like a junkyard fight or a hardcore match. They had, like, garbage set up everywhere, including, like, ambulance. Like, it was all decked out to be some sort of extreme match. That fight's going on for, like, 10 minutes. It's a normal Monday Night Raw type of fight. And it gets to the point where one of them's, like, winning. And he's like, all right, I'm going to go over to the ambulance. I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to like grab out a stretcher. Because I think it was a stretcher match. It was a stretcher match. The goal was you had to knock the guy out and put him on a stretcher. So you knew the stretcher was inside the ambulance, right? So he's going to go open the door and grab the stretcher. So he opens the door, and out of fucking nowhere, Stone Cold Steve Austin hits him with a chair. And you're like, the dude was gone for 6 months. This is the best reveal ever. We've all been waiting for it. And we had no reason at all to think it was going to happen tonight. And I'm like, this motherfucker taught me story reveals better than James Cameron, George Lucas, and Steven Spielberg put together. That was amazing. And I was just like, yes, that's a great way to build anticipation. You never see it coming, yet you always want it.
I remember all my friends came to my house because we had pay-per-view, and we watched the Undertaker match, where it was the Buried Alive match.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like the biggest thing. It's like, they're not, like, when Undertaker lost, they're like, they can't actually bury him, right? And then they actually do.
Yeah, I know.
And then like, but at the time when you're a kid, you're just like, you don't know if it's fake or real. And then at the very end, you're thinking, well, it's over. He's lost, and this is it. That's the last of it. You see his hand punched through the
oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah. And everyone's like, ah! It's a really cool thing.
That's like when Undertaker against Kane had the Inferno match. And Kane was gonna lose because he was the only one that had stuff on his arm. So he was gonna get lit on fire.
I like that. Damn, you Canadians are too nice. Even worrying about UFC fighters.
So some guy says, "Yo guys, Call of Duty World War II disc unplayable if patch is not down."
Oh, you didn't hear about that?
Even single player only. Ridiculous.
If you pop that in without a patch, it doesn't work. Just doesn't start.
Did they say why?
That was intentional because it was an unfinished product, so they require the patch so you don't think the game's like buggy as shit. Basically the point he's making is that's a future coaster regardless.
Scwitch is gonna have the same problem though.
All
LA Noire, the game will not turn on unless you get the download patch, and if the servers turn off, the cartridge is useless.
That's scary too because Nintendo is notorious for shutting down servers fast.
Yeah. Well, the Wii's gone, right?
Oh, it's about to.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of its aspects are gone. Part of the Wii U is shut down now.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know about that. Probably. Yeah. And Nintendo doesn't keep that stuff up for very long. So careful. You have to be careful with Switch stuff too, because I mean, this doesn't affect us as much because we're in North America, but like in Japan, they're releasing physical for games with no carts in it.
That's just putting more importance on emulation.
Yeah, which
because
is
people download the information from the hard drive, and then you need to use an emulator to play those games because you can't use the disc.
Yeah.
Just pushing more people to go down that road. Well, here's a Canadian one. I've noticed an issue in Canada where there is no such thing as the bargain bin stage when you can get a new games cheap. It's either MSRP or collector price. Same in the States. I would argue against that. I've seen a lot of cheap games on Amazon when they drop the prices, but more importantly,
I think he means in brick and mortar.
You have to go on websites like Red Flag Deals and then find out when games are getting clearance. Like Toys R Us is clearancing games. Walmart just clearance a ton of Wii games for like $9.96.
Well, like when Target shut down, it was big. You could just get
Just so you guys know, Target existed in Canada for 2 years before they shut down completely.
They didn't run that company right up here.
No, they did not. Honestly, though, there's bargain bins. I've seen plenty in brick and mortar stores.
Yeah, I just find it like it is probably more difficult because, like in the States, it's higher population, so they buy a lot more stuff, and if it doesn't sell, then they get stuck with more of it, so they have more of an urgency to clearance it out, I think.
Any advice on a good HDMI switcher? So the one I use is good, but it's a little out of date. There's one by a company called like Canevio, something like that. Theirs is pretty good, but it doesn't support 4K. It doesn't really support anything above 1080p, and unfortunately, as we get there, you want to show them that again. Because a bunch of people haven't seen it yet. We have an Xbox One X here. It's Shane's. So that supports 4K. That thing would not work.
Project Scorpio edition.
Yeah, that thing would not work in the switcher I'm talking about. So there's probably better ones now, but that's the one I use. Although I'm looking to upgrade eventually. We'll take a couple more questions and then we're out of here.
Oh, this is a good question. Any chance of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 through 4 being released without the soundtracks? Now, those games are awesome. And the soundtracks were incredible.
And no, there's no chance.
Yeah.
Because they did Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 HD.
Yeah.
And it bombed.
Yeah, it bombed.
Well, there's a big difference, though. If you can you could re-release 2, 3, and 4 on OG Xbox. You might have to deal with soundtrack issues.
Yeah,
but all 4 of them, those 3 exist. The first one, no, unless they introduce Dreamcast backwards compatibility, as you're pointing out.
Tony Hawk 2X on the Xbox, I would love for that to get backwards compatibility. Such a good game. You know what's weird is, so most of those games were made 360 compatible. Tony Hawk 3 is listed, and if you try playing it, it never works. Ever. It'll start, it'll get to the screen, it'll say, like, it'll have that white desktop, it'll say Xbox, and you'll hear the game's audio, but the game itself never starts. You just hear the audio. And I'm like, why is this on the supported list? It literally is not playable. I don't know if I have that for Xbox at home. Try it. If you ever get it, try it. I have it for GameCube. That was a launch game I got with GameCube. My buddy Trey asks another question. He says, Canadian question. Which is better, bag of milk or carton/jug of milk? Canadian women or U.S. women? Bag of milk. Just because the plastic is different. Like I've tried milk in the States, but it has a slightly different taste. I don't know how to put it. That's about food quality. We're talking about the delivery system. I don't care. Jug.
I've switched to cartons.
Yeah, that bag of milk concept is retarded. Yeah, I've never been into a grocery store and not seen like 2 bags spilled all over the place. The difference between plastic and the carton, but I can tell the difference between the jug, the big giant plastic jugs.
Honestly, I've never tried a jug of milk. Like it's never happened.
Canadian woman or American woman?
Well, I'm married to a Canadian woman.
Yeah, yeah, of course he's gonna pick that. My girlfriend's Portuguese, so I can't really. I'm open to either. It doesn't matter. I've had American women. I've never had a Canadian woman. You hook me up with that. I don't know if that would be a factor for me. I probably wouldn't even think about that.
That is such a weird thing to say.
I'm tired. I need Chinese food.
I met this really awesome girl, but she's American.
But the way you just said it was like
doesn't matter.
Oh, I had that.
Well, and the way he phrased it, Canadian women or U.S. women. RB Vlogger is contesting your statement and saying that Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 does work on Xbox 360. See, I've had multiple copies of it, and I've never got it to go past that screen on different 360s. I don't know. Milk comes in a bag. Up here it does.
Yeah. It was as far as I'm to understand, the reason why in this area of Canada we got bagged milk was because something to do with Russia did it as well, and it was some manufacturing thing, and they thought it was going to be the future of stuff. Because a lot of people were introducing plastics into culinary stuff, so bags of milk just made more sense. Plus, as weird as it is, You can take a bag of milk, freeze it, and then unfreeze it and drink it later if you want. I've never done that. But
no, that's a terrible idea. It separates. You're not supposed to do it with milk.
People do it.
And they're wrong.
If you get like the lower...
The problem with milk is that it's not a single form thing. So that it has aspects that freeze at different temperatures. So when you try to freeze it, it separates. It's chemistry, yo.
Progressive
high school chemistry.
I agree. I'm just telling you what
do you call that?
Progressive G says Canadian women from Toronto. Actually, if you look it up, Toronto is considered one of the worst dating cities on the planet. I don't know why, but apparently it is.
How many people do I know are actually like dating in Toronto and like have a stable relationship? I don't know too many.
No, I don't know. I don't know many either. Delta ZX says Tony Hawk 3 only works if you turn on the console's resolution down to 480i before starting.
That would be why I never got to work. Because why the fuck would I think to do that?
I don't think I've ever hooked up my Xbox 360 through AV. I've always had component or
never. Yep, I've never done that.
HDMI.
See, why would you do that?
Exactly.
That's why I don't know, but I guess that's interesting to know.
Yeah, you might as well just... It's Tony Hawk 3 on the OG Xbox.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Playing that on the 360.
You can play it at 480p, though, if you have...
Yeah, there's no reason to play it on the 360 unless you don't own an OG Xbox, which why wouldn't you? They're like $4. They're cheap.
Yeah.
Dude, I got so many of those damn things.
All right, let's do 2 more questions.
All right, yeah, we'll do 2 power round questions. You each pick one.
Well, yeah, you go first, Shane.
Shane will go first, and then Scott will play us out. We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Have you played Gun?
Nobody got it.
Oh, I love Gun.
I know the reference.
You got it.
I liked Gun. I mean, I don't know how well it would be good, but when I got my 360, I enjoyed playing that. It was like that cowboy first-person shooter game.
Yeah.
Had that yellow boxer.
Yes, I remember that.
There's a 360 and OG Xbox version. It's probably PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3.
Not a question.
Maybe PlayStation 2. I don't remember.
He said he was in Toronto and he said there's a lot of good women walking around. Yes, definitely. There's a lot of good.
It's a city. It's
there's a lot of good women walking around everywhere.
Yeah. You should go outside more.
All right. What is going to be?
It's true. Women are outside. They're not usually in your house, and if they are, they're probably trying to get to the police. You shouldn't do that, Shane.
Wow. All right. Let me find a question.
What consoles do you show people when they come to your house?
That.
Usually when people come to my house, I don't show them.
They're like, guys, come to my basement. I want to show you.
Yeah, right.
We don't do that.
Nobody wants to do that.
We socialize the way you probably socialize with your friends, which is just like, what do you want to do? I don't know. Fuck it.
I don't know. They're kind of just there. My friends just look in the room and go, oh, let's play that.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I've got some friends I grew up with that are into video games. 1 or 2 more than others, but the majority of friends I have from like back then, they don't really care about video games. I was like the odd one. And
yeah, my friends, like, first of all, I make videos on a lot of the things I've got that are weird, so you guys all see it anyway. And so when my friends come over, they're like, yeah, I know you made the fucking video, I don't care. You know, like, there's only so many times people are like, yeah, sure, show me the Apple Pippin again. You know, like, you don't care. You have to find people that are in that niche of really caring about obscure consoles, but that's not easy. In fact, because we're all separated in big, vast distances. Hence, I'm in Toronto. I'm 500 miles from home at the moment, so I have to come here to see more weird shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's your friend you hung out with in high school, probably not going to be the same level.
Honestly, one of the friends I met recently just contacted me up on Facebook, because that seems to be the way people contact me nowadays. I deleted my Facebook account until I started Rerez. When I started Rerez again, I was like, for the first time, I was like, maybe I should have a Facebook account. So I did that. Friend reaches out, contacts me, says, what are you up to? And I was like, well, I guess we haven't talked in a while. So I run a YouTube channel. That's my full-time job. And I built a video game controller. And they're like, you can do both those things? I was like, yeah. When we grew up, it's like not a normal thing to be a YouTuber, I guess. So,
yeah. Well, yeah.
I guess it wasn't because it just...
it didn't exist.
Yeah, right.
But there's like a whole generation of kids who are
I definitely wasn't the kid that would be on front of the camera. I was behind the scenes everything if I had to.
Yeah, me too.
I wanted to be the editor, the director, or the producer. I did not want to be the actor. So that's why people...
100%.
Yeah.
It's weird that this is what happened and that we're doing this.
I am not a guy to be in front of a camera.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are, and yet here we are. It just kind of happened because you can't justifiably try to create other entities.
Can't pay an actor to be in front of it.
To be you. Yeah, all right, here's everything I know, but I don't want to say it in a camera, so you do it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that. So you're just like, fuck it, I'll express myself. And over time, I mean, personally, it's just easy to be louder and more obnoxious, which is pretty much what I do. It's not that hard eventually to just be confident in just speaking.
Yeah.
Especially when you jack yourself up on coffee. Like, that helps a lot.
Adam drinks a lot of coffee.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah, I take him to coffee places like
Yeah,
five times a day.
We went to like 2 or 3 today.
Yeah. 2 or 3 today. And plus I made a couple pots of coffee yesterday.
Yeah, I like coffee. What can I say? Let's go out with this as a final question. I like that. I'm going to mutate your question a little bit. Because the question is if you had to pick Oreos or KitKat. I'm going to say, what's the first Oreo or KitKat or anything there that you're going to consume? I'm mutating your question. I guess you can answer it legitimately. Do you like Oreos
Mystery Oreo and then apple KitKat.
No. If you had if you had to wipe one from the face of the planet, you can only have KitKats or Oreos survive the apocalypse. What survives?
Wow. That's
how deep we're getting.
That's layered. I would get rid of Oreo. I'd keep the KitKat.
Okay. Now, there you go. There's kind of the answer to your question. Now, what's the first item you are going to consume?
The mystery Oreo.
Can we show them?
Yeah. So this is
in case you guys missed it, I gave them a whole fucking bunch of garbage.
So this is like a mystery Oreo flavor. So
don't read the comments because I know that people are going to say what it is.
So that's literally that's going to be the first one.
So that's the first one. What's the thing you're going to try and save all the way to the end? Is there such a thing?
The fudge covered Oreos.
The white fudge or the chocolate fudge?
Both of them.
One has to go first.
Oh no, they're going at the exact same time.
It's
one.
But one of the two will end.
We will split it directly in half and eat one Oreo as a whole between 2 of the flavors.
He's thought about this, and I like that.
See?
But make sure to refrigerate that Coke.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I picked a question. Scott, do you think the Xbox One X can actually outdo the PS4 in sales, or do you think specs do not matter? In my personal experience, it's territorial. So, me and my friends have an Xbox, we play Xbox. But if my friends all went to PS4, I'd play PS4. The guys at work all play PS4, they don't play Xbox. So I think it's more of a territorial thing. All your friends have this. Chances are you're going to kind of gravitate towards what you're going to play with your friends with.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
If you're an online gamer.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he might be asking, like, does the Xbox have a chance of catching up and surpassing PS4 in sales? I'd say.
And what I was going to say to that is it just depends if people are willing. If you have a group of people that are willing to switch, I don't think
it's too far behind.
I know. I just you're probably right.
There's 3 factors. One, if 4K TVs become super popular in 2018, and I did a video talking about that, I think they're going to be popular. If people are willing to drop money on a console to facilitate that 4K TV signal and get something really cool out of it, that's why they'd get it. And then the last, only if we start to see a lot of games that make the console worth it. Because there are a lot of games on Xbox One. But I think the problem is that the mentality is that there isn't enough. And I think that's what everyone gets confused about, right? So if Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, the best experience you're going to have is most likely on Xbox One X because it will be able to present the game in a way that the PlayStation 4 Pro couldn't. Yeah. So that's going to be the thing. You're now looking at a system that is the most powerful out there, so the games naturally will be better. But did that help the original Xbox?
Not really. I mean, it made it beat the GameCube, and that's it.
Yeah.
I would buy an Xbox One X if I had a 4K TV.
But here's the thing. We could argue that the Xbox One X will be more successful than the PS4 Pro. But unfortunately, you have the entire backlog of Xbox One S and Xbox One Base and the PS4. And the PS4 is rampantly ahead of it.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's possible to come back from that kind of deficit.
I think the PS4 Pro came out 1 year too early.
Well, that's kind of the point. That was why it existed.
It's not much of an upgrade.
Plus, unfortunately for Microsoft, they always lose in one of the 3 big markets. They always lose Japan. There's no chance of ever competing there.
I'll say this. If in 2 years, Sony's like, oh yeah, I'm going to release a PlayStation. Let's release a PlayStation 5. And they do that, and it plays all the PlayStation 4 games, all with the PlayStation 4 Pro abilities and all that stuff. And then they release exclusive PlayStation 5 games, and it's better than the Xbox One X. Sony kills them in one release of a console because they would have that entire back catalog ready to go. With the Xbox One X, you're getting the original Xbox games, you're getting the 360 games, and you're getting Xbox One X enhanced games. However, there are no exclusives for Xbox One X. You can still get an Xbox One or One S and still have the exact same experience.
There's not much in the way of exclusives in Xbox in general.
Yeah.
Because there actually kind of literally aren't. Because even though their exclusive content has been weak and they keep canceling a lot of stuff, like Scalebound and all that type of shit. Fable Legends,
Yep.
right? All that stuff that they cancel, they also included on PC. And I know the argument is, oh, but we like playing games on PC. That's all fine and good, but it does inevitably kind of kill the value of your brand when you're like, it's totally exclusive except it's available on another platform, which is like the antithesis of what the concept of exclusivity is. It just means it's not on Switch and it's not on PlayStation. So it's dividing the potential market with the game.
It's kind of like it was really weird because when on Windows Store, I can just turn on Windows Store. I've got the same account on my Microsoft or my Xbox that I do on there, and then all these games appear that are on my Xbox and they work on PC too. And I was just like, that's weird. Like I like that, but I don't think they've done a good enough job explaining that and how much of a benefit that is to you. It's still an exclusive to Microsoft platforms. If you want to play the game, you have to play it on one of these platforms. It's not like you can just turn it on Steam and download like one of those games. But it's a weird situation they're in, and I think if they get the messaging right and people understand it a lot more, it'll make a lot more sense.
Mm. We're going to go out with this question because it's an ode to Canada. My buddy Trey again says, Quebec or Quebec? I thought Canadians had floppy heads, beady eyes, and fart all the time. Hashtag South Park. How do you pronounce it?
Quebec. Quebec.
Quebec.
Yeah.
Say again?
Quebec.
Quebec.
There you go. Authentic. So that's it for us. We're going to go out and get Chinese food now. Thank you very much for watching.
I think we're raised to say it the French way, right? We go to school.
Yeah.
Quebec, right?
Yeah.
Because
I don't give it a lot of thought.
Quebecois, right? Like you would say that,
Quebecois, yeah.
Right?
All right. Well, anyway, yes. Thank you very much for joining us. I want to thank, of course, Shane and Scott for joining me on this as well. Thanks, Shane, for hosting this. Thanks for letting us use the Xbox One X. Thank you guys for watching. Also, thank you guys for the super chats and all that stuff. Always appreciated. So, have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
You can go ahead and turn it off.
I'm turning it off now.
He's turning it off.
Wait, scream. Ah!
That was really
Wait,
loud.
that didn't work. There we go.
All right.